We should be live. And if you guys didn't read the title, we are doing a Best Ball Mania draft and possibly two. We'll see how long we go. Spicy's going to get something to eat between the drafts. And with that being said, in that little short period between, I'll answer your guys' questions. So the first person in here, we actually got Rocky said, let's get it. Let's get it, fellas, man. You see the sign in the background. Man, there's no bigger piece of dopamine than just drafting a Best Ball Mania team. Shit's a lot of fun, but Pionio says, sup, fellas. Sup, Pionio, sup. Dawson asks 106 and Hawk for 201, 301, and Joku in a 2025 first 2-1. So if we're contextualizing this, the 106 you're looking at, I mean, I'm assuming Drake May's off the board because if Drake May is at that 106, Drake May is going to be my answer every time. But for E's sake, I have Roma Dunze ranked as my sixth overall player in a super flex setup. So let's just say that is Roma Dunze and TJ Hawkinson in exchange for the 201, the 301, and Joku in the first. So the way I kind of view this, to be honest, is that the 201, you're maybe getting lucky at one of the wide receivers, but it's most likely going to be like a Jonathan Brooks. It's going to be a Bo Nix. It's going to be a Jonathan. Yeah, I already said Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Keon Coleman, somebody like that. It really depends. If you're trying to consolidate and you're trying to get a contending piece to try to win, which I think Roma Dunze and assuming he's healthy, TJ Hawkinson are able to accomplish, I like that side for their perspective. But also at the same time, if you're trying to retool your team, actually, if you're trying to retool your team, I'm not moving the 106. So to be honest, I think I prefer the 106 and Hawk side, but it's not like it's lopsided either way, if that makes sense. I think that's a relatively fair deal. Yo, what's up, Devo? What's up? He's been, by the way, if you guys don't know about Devo Devonte, he's actually in our newest listener league startup. We're actually, I believe, at the end of the 10th round in the startup right now. Devo's been making a pretty fierce team, I will say. He's been doing his work. Hey, brother, 608 for 811 and 1102. Feeling like I should accept that trade down. Yeah, I mean, I think I would need a little bit more for the 608. It's probably a pretty fair deal on surface level, but to be honest, once I'm in that 608 range, I still have the upside for the value accrual of a lot of those pieces. Again, the 811, the 1102 should be able to get you two solid, contending pieces, maybe as depth, but the 608 has the opportunity to potentially rise in startup value. And you could look back a year from now and be like, oh, shoot, like that 608 I got just turned into the next, I mean, not Garrett Wilson, but like big breakout type of player. Got to let the boys in the chat know I got Chase Chubb in the 103. Yeah, that is mental. That is mental. Good job, Spicy. I have the 104 already, yes, sir. Then whoever gave you the 101 for a cheap flip, yeah, like that's pretty wild there, Spice. Superflex 12 team start 10. Herbert for MHJ and overpay. I have Stroud and Kyler as my starter and needed to short my wide receivers behind AJ Brown and Tank Dell. To be honest, like I know this may sound like a hot take because, again, I love Justin Herbert. I think he's an elite talent at the quarterback position, but objectively speaking, like he's a fringe top 12 to 15 redraft quarterback this year, given the surrounding pieces, given the overall volume projection with, the Greg Roman, Jim Harbaugh regime versus the 699 pass attempts he had a couple years ago. I love Justin Herbert. He's still clearly a top 10, top 12 overall startup pick for me, but I actually view him relatively interchangeably to Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a guy I have ranked inside of my top 12 as well. So if you need wide receiver, I mean, again, some people may be like, yo, you don't give up that quarterback equity so quickly, but with Stroud and Kyler, you can get that stack. Again, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Justin Herbert, in my opinion, are very, very close ranked in my dynasty rankings at this current point. I'd be willing to take this, especially start 10, get that firepower wide receiver. I don't mind that at all. Have someone trying to get me to do best ball. What's the best strategy? Glad you're better, Danny. Best strategy. I mean, there's no real best strategy. The one thing I will say is every single pick outside of maybe the first round, you're going to look at the board and you're going to be like, well, I love the running backs so much more than I love the wide receivers this year. And you notice it throughout the draft. Like I'm deciding between Devon Achane and Deebo Samuel, or I'm deciding between Isaiah Pacheco and DJ Moore, or I'm deciding between, Josh Jacobs and Zay Flowers. It's like every single spot, I like the running back projection, especially in a half PPR more, but you kind of just have to take some wide receivers, especially in the Best Ball Mania 5 setup with the 3 wide receiver start, with how valuable these wide receivers are. Like, you're going to use your running backs as kind of like your detours. And I've heard, for example, like Peter Overset really make that claim in the past, especially last year, the year before, where the running back position, you don't want to overindulge. You don't want to spend too much capital on it. But at the same time, admittedly, like the projections, once you get to round 4 and you see Isaiah Pacheco, the lead back of a top 3 potential offense in the NFL with the best quarterback in the league with Patrick Mahomes, like, do you really want to take a low-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 over that? You don't. But if you just keep making the running back positions at each of those spots, you're going to be left with like Jameson Williams as your wide receiver 2. Stroud and Pearsall for Lamar and Nico Collins. This is very easily Lamar and Nico Collins, in my opinion, Jake. Lamar and Stroud are right neck and neck in my rankings right now, and I love Nico Collins. Spicy, I will tell you, I'm just going to go through these next couple of comments, and then I will be able to cue the draft. Wanted to get some people in here. Currently 70 in here, so I appreciate that. And then we will be starting this draft. Just wanted to get this quick Q&A. Hey, brother, in redraft, would you trade away 4 overall pick to get picks 24, 33, and 80? I currently have picks 4 and 8 overall, and as those remaining picks, thanks. I would just hold the 4th overall pick personally, just because how much of a difference maker those elite top talents are. Like, for example, maybe you don't get a CeeDee Lamb or a Tyreek Hill, but that's in your range of outcomes. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey, a couple other elite wide receivers. Maybe you like Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall. A lot of really, really top-end league-winning talents there. What's your thought between Pickens and Olave in the future? Olave is obviously better, but statistically, they aren't really far off. I do prefer Olave, but I really feel like the community is kind of underrated Pickens a little bit. He was really bang awesome last year. They obviously lose Deontay Johnson this offseason, potentially make a quarterback upgrade there with Russ or Justin Fields. And I just feel like George Pickens is the exact archetype we want to bet on. That big play, downfield wide receiver that is coming off a very, very strong sophomore season. So I had to self-reflect a little bit, and I looked at it. I'm like, George Pickens may just be undervalued as a whole, to be honest. Value-wise, Pickens seems like a steal. Yeah, I would agree with you there, Cameron. And when looking for a Dynasty startup, let them know in the comments there, Gen G. Yeah, hey, if you guys are interested. Odunze and Chubb for Devontae Smith and David Montgomery. I would rather have the Odunze and Chubb side there, Maddie. And finally, from Jaw, Dynasty 12-team happy bear thoughts on flipping Achane for 2024 105 and 201. Yeah, like I love Devon Achane, but is this a super flex? If this is a one quarterback, I would hold Achane, I think, although that's very close. If this is a super flex, like I want the 105 and the 201. So it really depends what situation you are. Again, if you're asking this, I'm probably assuming it's a one quarterback league. And if that's the case and you need running backs, I would probably just hold Achane. But if you don't need running backs and you're trying to retool, this is about a fine price, I would say, to sell him. But with that being said, we have 73 in here, about 7 minutes into the stream. Want to answer a couple questions. If you guys are over on Underdog Fantasy right now, you guys can try to get into our drafts. Let me just find the ideal layout here. Just give me a moment. Maybe this one. Yeah, this one or the top one. Yeah, that top one looks good. So with that being said, if you guys want to get into the draft, I'll give you guys a 10-second countdown. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can hit that yes button, Spicy. And if you guys try to get into the drafts with us, hey, love it. We got to make the content, and hopefully you guys can get some best ball exposure over on our fantasy. But a couple more comments here. I'm interested. Send me the details. Yeah, you guys can link up as well. Bush not on because he lost the bet. I'll tell him he said that. By the way, just looking at the draft right now, we do see Sir King Jared making it into the draft. And if you scroll over a little bit, Spicy, I want to see if any usernames I recognize here. I know Jared is in here for sure. If you guys are in this draft, leave it in the comments down below. Yeah, Bush always loses his bets, eh? How do you feel about Drake London's fantasy playoff schedule? Plays Las Vegas, New York Giants, Washington. I feel like the latter two don't have the adequate corners. I would agree as well, assuming, of course, the health of the quarterback position, which, to be honest, I don't think is as much of a risk now that they have Michael Penix Jr., but Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix, as long as they're giving you quality quarterback play, that's a very tasty schedule down the stretch for Drake London. And I think he's already a big breakout candidate as it is, a guy who's going in the second round of these drafts. And that, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Falcon stacks your way to winning BBM5. Thank you. Hell yeah, brother. That me. Yes, sir, Jared. Yes, sir. This is our 4th or 5th drafts. Oh, yeah, dude, we always get the 105. It's actually absurd. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get some different exposure at the 105 now, because every time we get the 105, I mean, to be fair, we got badges in the first 4 spots. Feels like it's pretty chalk now. Jared, I know if like a CD Lamb or Tyreek Hill falls, is actually going to just snipe us. So probably not going to get a screaming value here, but who knows? Now for Spicy, with the other 105 drafts we got, it was what? An Amon St. Brown and a Bijan. Those are the 2 we got. So this is our 4th draft, you said, right? Or 5th? 105. What do you? Let me see. I know you mentioned it. This is our 4th and 5th drafts. Okay, so who was the 3rd that we got? Type it in the chat. I don't remember because I know Bijan and Amon-Ra were 2 of them. I mean, it must have been just Justin Jefferson, right? So literally all 3 of those top guys are already guys that we have exposure to. You know what? I think I'm just going to bite the bullet on Justin Jefferson simply because this is with the uncertainty of JJ McCarthy right now. If he impresses in training camp, I can definitely see him maybe rising a couple spots. So I'll mix in Justin Jefferson. You can never go wrong with, in my opinion, the number 1 overall wide receiver from a talent perspective in the NFL. And you guys see the jerseys behind me. You guys can call me biased if I would say CeeDee Lamb, but I'm not out here doing that. I think Justin Jefferson is indeed the best wide receiver in the NFL. What's your prediction for NBA Finals, assuming Mavs don't blow a 3-0 lead? Who's the winner and how many games? That's the thing that sucks. So I actually made 2 separate bets when the Wolves were up 2-0 on the Nuggets that the Nuggets would come back and win. Obviously, they throw that game 7. They probably should have won. They were up double digits. Pretty annoying in that regard. Could have won a little chunk change on that. And then after that, once I saw them beat the Nuggets, I was like, dude, the Wolves like have to make the NBA Finals, right? And it's just disappointing. The late game execution, not being able to stop Luka, and really having a struggle series thus far, 3-0 lead. So obviously, again, like you're not picking against a team up 3-0. It will be Mavs. It will be obviously against the Boston Celtics. Honestly, I hate Boston with my freaking life, and I'm a big Lakers fan, but like I'd be shocked if they went 6 or 7 games, to be honest. Like I think the Celtics should win. Actually, not 6. I think the Celtics should win in 5 or 6, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But overall, so far in this draft, we get Christian McCaffrey, pretty bog standard 101 in a lot of these rooms. We do see the 4 straight wide receivers off the board with CD, Jamar, Tyreek, and Justin Jefferson. Brees Hall, Bijan Robinson also go in the top 8, sandwiched between Amon St. Brown. And then we just see the wide receiver avalanche there. Puka, Garrett. I love Brandon Ayuk, but first round Brandon Ayuk is definitely a spicy take. We also see A.J. Brown make it to that turn with Marvin Harrison. So far, pretty expected. Pretty glad that I got that wide receiver at that 5th overall pick, because that's what I've noticed, man. Like, you want to get your exposure to the Bijan, to the Brees Hall, but like, once you're looking in the 2nd round and like Deebo Samuel, again, I keep hating to throw the same name over, but Deebo Samuel is your best available wide receiver at that spot. Like, you're not feeling pretty good, especially when you have to take that over like Devon Achane. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a good spot. Classic FSC 105. Yeah, we always get 105s. It's actually absurd. I want CeeDee Lamb exposure, man. How close are Olave and London for you in Dynasty? So I have London, I believe, 2 spots higher. Let me just take a look. I have my rankings right here. Hold up. I believe I have London at wide receiver 9 and Olave at wide receiver 11. Let me see. Dynasty. Boom. It's supposed to be our pick as well. So I have London at wide receiver 9 and Olave at wide receiver 11. Yeah, I quoted that exactly. Time to bet the Wolves. Yeah, I mean, if you can get some really, really good odds on the Wolves, like I don't hate mixing in a couple bets, but so we're on the clock. We have Justin Jefferson. We could go with an Adams share and then maybe wrap around with a running back. I think that's kind of what I like here. I'll go with Devontae Adams and see what wide receiver or running back, specifically probably a running back, falls back. So just staying ahead of the curve here. They inputted the bye weeks finally, for real. Xavier Worthy for Pickens in a second. 12-man Superflex start 10. Like, to me, Xavier Worthy and Pickens are maybe not exact same tier, but relatively close. So I think this is a fair deal. Again, if you wanted to consolidate to Worthy, I get it. But for me personally, if I can bank Pickens, get that extra piece of 2nd-round piece of liquidity, and use that 2nd-rounder in season for buying power, maybe for a veteran running back if you're trying to compete, I like that move. I really do like George Pickens. And to be honest, I might even still be too low on him. Like, he is a guy that I'm looking at it right now. Him versus Michael Pittman, him versus Tank Dell in Dynasty. Like, I think I got to raise Pickens, to be honest. So I'm actually going to do that because the more I think about it, like you're getting this big play X wide receiver who had 1,100 yards as a sophomore with an inherent quarterback upgrade and less target competition. And we're treating him as a fringe top 30 wide receiver. It's just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. As an OKC casual fan, I knew there was no way that young of a team was making it to the ship. So I'm more proud they were the youngest to make it that far in Hollywood. Yeah, no, for sure, man. And obviously, shout out Shea, literally from the Hammer himself. Grew up with his brother, but it's lovely seeing how well that team really gelled. Obviously, Chet looks like a star of the future. Jalen Williams as well looks like a really, really good piece for that team as well. Just doing the dirty work, filling in the cracks, can really do a lot of things. That's what I love about Jalen Williams. He is so skilled. He is able to do so much for that team. So you need him to rebound. You need him to make assists. You need him to drive the basket. You need him to spot up. Like he is the ultimate glue guy for that roster. So really, really like how that OKC team is constructed, especially since they still have a lot of picks to be able to leverage for another big time upgrade. Hello, Lowry Markkinen, if you want to make that move. Like you got options there for sure. Now, we do see all of the running backs go from this spot. We do. Oh, if we got a Monner, we could have gotten a Laporta. Damn, I was hoping one of the running backs fell. I think Laporta is just too good to pass up here, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Laporta here. We can get a Jacobs, or we can get another running back to fall back, get that elite tight end advantage. Again, 3-5 seems a little bit steep, but knowing the wide receiver complexion available, knowing that Malik Neighbors off the board, some of those other wide receivers with upside are off the board. It's just tough. I think you got to bite the bullet there. Now, with hindsight, obviously, I would have went with Amon or St. Brown, but on the bright side, they are in the same division, so you will get two games between them. I feel like Bush may have been right. Running back value goes way too hard these days. Some of the wide receivers, I completely agree, Jared. Like I agree with the sentiment that at every spot, the running back does feel like a better pick than the wide receiver. But at the same time, in these drafts, because that's going to be at every pick, you have to pick your spots wisely. And gosh darn it, I was really hoping Isaiah Pacheco fell back. I mean, damn it! Like I played the game and didn't work out for me there. Would you trade 2025 second for Baker Mayfield in a Superflex start 9? Like, if you're desperate for a quarterback, sure, but if not, I mean, it's pretty fair value. I would say in a start 9, it's pretty fair. Sam Porter's the worst pick on underdog right now, coming from a Lions fan. I mean, I just took him. You're good. No, you're good. You're good. I didn't think he was going to fall to you, not hating. Yeah, no. You're good. You're good. It just, to be honest, there's a situation where I wanted Devon Achane or I wanted, a Kyron there, and they both end up going. And I personally can't stomach, like the only wide receiver that went after that I can stomach taking over Laporta would be Cooper Kupp. But even Cooper Kupp feels like a guy I can get at better value in different drafts. So want to, limit my exposure over drafting him right now, knowing that I can get him mostly at that 3-4 turn when we get those spots. And who knows, maybe in the second draft, that ends up being a thing. Now, with that being said, I really do like that the other two tight ends got off the board. So I could potentially get a Josh Jacobs maybe here if he falls back. Let's hope that happens, because these two guys both have 2 running backs. So if they just take a third, that would be kind of a throw. Yeah, Josh Allen in the 4th round. Are we serious? Yeah, we were smashing the Josh Jacobs button, but holy, that is pretty crazy. Yeah, we love the Josh Jacobs, but Josh Allen at the 4-6, maybe one of the best picks I've ever seen. Can you check what his ADP is there, Spicy? Because he went 42. Wow. Okay, he's actually a 35 ADP. Man, maybe Josh Allen's just one of the best values in the draft this year. Who knows? For reference, in my best ball rankings, let me see where I have Allen ranked. Josh Allen is my 25th overall player that he got at 42 overall. So, yeah, quite the steal. Quite the steal. Is your nickname from the Overwatch character? Yes. Sold Gabe Davis for. Yeah, no, you take the 2 every single time there. Yeah, dude. We if Josh Jacobs going to continually be a fourth round pick in these drafts, I will have all of the Josh Jacobs. And funny little correlation piece, but we actually do have 3 separate players in the same division. So that's pretty fun for the late season. I also literally think the Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers. Yeah, Minnesota and Green Bay is the Week 17 game. Let me pull up the Week 17 schedules too, because I know the Lions have I think it's the Niners that they play, so we can keep that in the mind. I believe it's the Niners. Let me just take a look. Week 17 of 2024. Hold up. I got to search. I don't know why it defaults to 2023, but for 2024, week 17, we have Detroit going up, yes, against the San Francisco 49ers. And we do, of course, have the Minnesota Vikings against the Packers. What does the Raiders play? The Raiders played the Saints. Okay, we'll keep that in mind as well. Why do you like Jacobs over ETN? Better offensive projection, higher feeling in terms of the overall player fit in the offense, in terms of overall scoring touchdown equity. And to be honest, man, it comes back to the fact that Josh Jacobs, to me, has proven he can handle the workload across a full season and be a consistent player. Travis Etienne handled the workload last year, but the question I have was it because Trevor Lawrence that got hurt? Why his efficiency dropped? Like, we saw him be one of the best real life running backs in the NFL 2 years ago, and we saw that efficiency kind of fall off a cliff. Now, I can explain away a lot more with the Las Vegas Raiders problems than I can with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So for me, Josh Jacobs, a guy that I have high regard of, entering a Green Bay offense with a good offensive line, with a top end quarterback, in my opinion, with Jordan Love, I'm absolutely all for it. Now, Spicy's motioning me to make a pick. Jaden Reed is the pick here for sure, getting that Packers correlation. Not too bad, not too bad. So we do have, if we can get Jordan Love on this team, a nice little Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Jaden Reed, Justin Jefferson game, week 17 stack. So really, really big fan of that. I have 45% Jacobs exposure. Yeah, man. Like, this has been a workhorse for the Raiders for the last, 5 years. Now he enters a fringe top 5, at least a top 10, potentially top 5 level offense with how Jordan Love played down the stretch, man. Like, I'm really excited. And we've seen in the past that once they get down inside the 10, inside the 5, like when Aaron Jones was in his prime, he had 16 rushing touchdowns. Now you plug in Josh Jacobs, this 225-pound bell cow running back on that goal line situation. Like, I'm feeling good, man. I really like Josh Jacobs, and this is the bet I'd be making every single time. Yes, Matt, let's go. You got that NFC North. Yeah, absolutely. And thing that we've always seen in the NFC North, especially oncoming going into this year, is that Packers, Vikings, Lions, Chicago, what do they all have in common in that division? A lot of freaking points are going to be scored. So I'm pretty excited there. DeAndre Swift at the 5'11". Wow. Is that actually where he's going? I thought he was like a 7th rounder. Is he actually going in the 5th? Let's check what his ADP is. Yeah, okay. So he just took him 26 picks ahead of ADP. Holy Christ. I was going to say, because I'm like, I kind of like the Swift value where he's going this year, but not when it's in the 5th round. Like, what are we doing? Also, that Nur guy has also got Kelsey Mahomes worthy stack. That guy's got a good team. I take that. But yeah, when he's going 26 picks ahead of ADP, he is the worst pick. Big Moira guy, but Gen G was number 2. I stopped playing years ago. Oh, you guys are talking about league. Solo Dana streams call for more cowboy banter. Amen. Amen. Let me see the board quick, Spicy, because I'm leaning a wide receiver here, but I want to see the complexion. So let's see what's available. Okay, Ridley, McConkey. I do like McConkey, but let's take a look quick. Scroll down a bit. Yeah, like there's still guys I like there. I think we got to take a McConkey just to get ahead of the wide receiver role. We do have 4, which is a good spot to be in at least 2. And then maybe seeing if we got a running back at that next pick. So we go with Lad McConkey and then potentially set up. Again, as much as I love Jordan Addison, I don't want to be too overexposed to that game because we do already have 3 pieces. And then once we add Jordan Love, he'll be our 4th piece. But yeah, no, Rome was the guy I wanted for sure. And as much as I love Jordan Addison, like I am a little bit more concerned now. Now, to be fair, early season he should smash, but I am a little bit more concerned, A, and B, I don't want to over correlate that game too. So it was the best game, yes, sir. What's good, Danny? What's good, Rylan? What's good? He looked a little bit dusty last year, but you make valid points. Would you target him in Dynasty? He's a fringe top 12 level Dynasty running back for me. Like, I get the risk there because if ETN has a worse year, he's not going to fall off the face of the earth. Whereas if Jacobs has a worse year, he's probably going to. So with that being said, I actually do have, let me see in my Dynasty rankings. I have ETN as my RB10 and Jacobs as my RB13. So again, 1-year projection, I like Jacobs a little bit better. I'm just a little bit concerned with the downside risk where he could fall off the face of the earth if he has a bad year on the Packers. Whereas with ETN, even if he has a little bit of a mid-year, like he's not going to fall off, if that makes sense. So just my thought process in there. What are we looking at for this next turn? Aaron Jones does go, which is kind of annoying, but that's fine. Ramondre is a nice pick if we can get Ramondre Stevenson here. I really like me some Ramondre. Then again, I mean, Jared, just don't snipe me. That's all I care about here. You don't need him. You don't need Ramondre. You're good. Oh, Ramondre went. Fuck. Never mind. You can't even snipe me. No, that's unlucky. We could go with JSN here, maybe, or we could go. I mean, what's Burrow's ADP? 76.9. Okay, so it feels like he's low right now. Kind of weird. What other correlators do we have? Not much. I don't want to reach on Christian Watson. Honestly, I'm just probably going to go back to the top there, Spicy. Grab JSN. And then we will take Jordan Love, hopefully, at that next pick. If we get sniped on Jordan Love, then I would be pretty upset. But at the same time, we always have the fallback to potentially get JJ. So, yeah, we'll see what falls back here. If Jordan Love's there at the next pick, though, we're definitely taking him. Could have argued Christian Watson as well, but with 2 Packers already on the roster, I kind of didn't want to, again, overexpose. Plus, I really like the value on Tucker Kraft, so I'll probably get my Packers exposure in that way. We'll see what happens here. Pretty interesting draft so far. We'll see how it unfolds. I kind of like how we're going about this, getting that anchor at running back, getting that anchor at tight end, and just absolutely loading up with the numbers at wide receiver right now. DeAndre Hopkins goes, yeah, like 7-8 DeAndre Hopkins just feels gross. Like, I'm not gonna lie. We got 121 of you in here. Appreciate you guys for that continued support. And again, like I was saying, after this draft, Spicy's gonna quickly get something to eat. I'll do a little bit of a Q&A if you guys have some questions in the comments, and then maybe, I don't know, he needs, what would you need, like 10-15 minutes for Spice? About that? 10-15? Yeah, okay. So I'll just do a Q&A between. We'll do that, and then obviously, of course, after that, we can fire up another draft. We do see Zamir White go off the board. Zamir White's the one I'm struggling with. Like, I don't know how to value it, because on the one side, I would argue that from a pure talent perspective, like, I don't think Zamir White's a very talented player, and Alexander Mattison has shown at least an ability to handle a workload in these last couple of years when he's gotten the opportunity to. So I just don't know what to make of Zamir White, because if he has the backfield as a clear number one, he's probably a value. But if he, is a timeshare committee on a bad offense with Alexander Mattison, 7-9 just over some of these projections feels a little rich for my blood. So, I mean, he's a polarizing player for a reason. That's probably why. Watson, wide receiver 3 in Green Bay. And I still like Christian Watson, but at the same time, like, when I have Jaden Reed in this draft, I would rather get my correlator of my Dontavian Wicks or my Tucker Kraft at value, so I can kind of build out some value otherwise. Now, Joe Burrow falling to the 8th round is actually a really good value in his own right, too. He also pairs with the CJ Stroud guy. Who did check the Chase team quick, Spicy? So he passed. Is he the one who took Ramondre from us? Is that what happened? Just go to the board and scroll up. It'll be easier. Is he? Pierce, James Pierce. He had Jamar Chase and he passed on Joe Burrow there. Interesting. Okay. A 12-team PPR Superflex got offered Amon St. Brown for AR5 and Brian Thomas. I'm competing in other quarterbacks are Stroud, Herbert, and Bo Nix. That just feels way too rich for my blood. Like, Amon St. Brown and AR5 are in the same tier of my rankings. I'm not giving up Brian Thomas to make that move. Like, I would rather just wait and find a better deal, to be honest. JMO flying up boards, got about 160. Jesus. Yeah, he is flying up boards. Yeah. Did he go in the top 75? No, Jordan Love gets sniped. Are we for real? Are we going to just do Dak first? Like, oh, man. This is gross. Could go Jonathan Brooks. Go Jonathan Brooks. We have one running back, so we can mix that in. Are we serious? Did he actually just snipe us on Jordan Love there? Disgusting. Great. You're wide receiver 2 and 3 is Keenan Allen, brother. Good luck. Look, it shouldn't bother me, but like, when I see people just doing such illogical shit in these drafts, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, actually, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Jared, I would not have taken your Brooks if this freaking sand eater didn't take my Jordan Love. So that's not ideal. Yeah. I mean, you got your boy Cortland. You're good. But yeah, no, I kind of need a running back there anyway. So maybe it's not the worst thing. Plus, you can get the correlation there with JJ later in the draft. And If Dak falls, I would really like a Dak share, but the problem is we can't really correlate him with much. But naked Dak in the 9th round, I mean, you guys know me. I'd never turn down a naked Dak. You know what I'm saying? So I also don't think he's too talented, but I think the Raiders overwork him in the way the Jags did to James Robinson. Yeah, no, that's fair too. Also, I think this is a really good point. Backdoor Herbert. I forgot we did have Lab McConkey, so good point there as well. Yeah, I didn't even realize, Jared, to be honest. I kind of was just flabbergasted that I got sniped on Jordan Love there. So my fault. My apologies. It's hard to get stacks later on in the drafts nowadays because of the casuals. Yeah, I mean, like this room, like I don't know what's going on. It's very interesting. Backdoor Herbert, yes, sir. So I like where he's going personally. Oh, you're talking about what? I thought you were talking, dude. My bad. I thought you were talking about Josh Jacobs. That's why I was kind of confused. No, that makes sense. I do think overworking. Yeah, no, that's fair. The only issue that I have is that I can see Alexander Madison being a relatively big piece in your backfield. Like, I don't think it's just going to all go to Zamir White. Hence why a timeshare committee back, in my opinion, going in the top 8 rounds when I don't think he's quite talented and he's on a bad offense. It's just, I can't do it personally. But again, people will be in on him. I understand it. But yeah, we could go Benson or Connor here. We could go with Njoku. Do we have a second tight end? I mean, Amari Cooper's off the board, so we're not really going to want that stack. Scroll down a little bit, Spicy. I kind of want to see what the board looks like. A little bit down. Yeah, no, go back up and just take a top name, actually. Go Connor for early season. Fuck it. Early season Connor. Who knows? Maybe he gets traded cheap to the Cowboys in the offseason. You never know. Same Danny Sam. Let's go. Crush that like, hey, yeah, let's go. If you guys are watching 132 concurrently in the stream currently, leave a like down below. Any wide receiver you would do for a 1-for-1 with AR5? 1-for-1. I mean, for me personally, like Garrett Wilson, Puka Nacua are right after AR in my rankings. If you can get a tiny piece, again, you're in a position now where you have the quarterbacks and you're in a top contender. So I don't mind a slight loss, but to me, adding Brian Thomas onto AR5 for Amon-Ra is just not worth it. Like maybe if that was for like CeeDee Lamb, that's one thing. But for Amon-Ra, like, I don't know. I view AR5 and him as the same tier. Even if White is good, the offense can be bottom 10. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Lockett would have been a good pick too. We could still get the skinny though, which I'm cool with. Again, I just think we had too many wide receivers. I kind of wanted to get a running back there, especially knowing that Brooks was on our team and we didn't really have that early season production other than Josh Jacobs. So I don't mind making that Connor pick, especially early season. He should be able to help. So yeah, no, that's kind of my thought process on it. I'm still down to backdoor skinny Geno because we do have JSN. So that's a good point as well. 14 team Superflex start 11, 1.5 premium. My quarterbacks are Caleb, Herbert, Kyler, Purdy, and Levis. Which one should I sell off and keep? So if you're in this situation, like Caleb and then one of Herbert or Kyler are for sure going to be your keeps. I would keep Levis as my QB3 and I would trade one of Herbert or Kyler and Purdy. That's how I'd approach that. AR5, the new Cam Newton. I have no AR5 in Dynasty. It's a travesty. Offer up in the Devy League. I'll hear you out. I will indeed hear you out, brother. All right, we are almost on the clock. Let's take a look. Like Nick Chubb's a screaming value right now too. What's our stacking options here? Can you check the quarterbacks? Yeah, like is Herbert still available? Yeah, put Herbert in the queue so we don't forget about him. Put Wicks in the queue so we don't forget about him. And then, yeah, Wicks. Yeah, perfect. And now scroll up. I like Chubb here. We do have 5 wide receivers, so I don't mind that. Do we have any other correlators here? Now, we kind of just got to wait at quarterback now that we got sniped. So I will go with Nick Chubb. We're set basically at running back now, and then we could just focus on grabbing our quarterbacks and our wide receiver depth from here on out. But so far, we put ourselves in a good position to handle the early season running backs. And I mean, with how the quarterbacks are going, I think a 3 QB build was the way to play this anyway. So kind of seeing these guys just get rinsed off the board. Honestly, might make an offer. Yeah, make me an offer, bro. I'll be down. I might be able to give Kyler for AR5 1-for-1. Yes or yes. I mean, if you're a big AR5 guy, like they're saying to you for me, I have AR5 slightly ahead. So if you prefer AR5, I don't mind that as well. Yeah, I'm not. Did you have Browns, Jared? I didn't even notice. Can you scroll Jared's team? He said he needed Chubb. Oh, unless you're just targeting Chubb, that would make okay. Maybe you're targeting Chubb. That would make sense. I have Mahomes, T-Law, and Caleb in Superflex. Like no one will move an elite wide receiver for Caleb. What direction would you go to move Caleb? I mean, to be honest, I would probably just if you're not getting an elite wide receiver for Caleb, maybe seeing the top wide receiver you can get for T-Law. Then, like that's probably what I approach. I need Chubb to stop taking my. Hey, I didn't even. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't even paying attention to your Week 17 stacks, but also Devon Achane hurt too. So I got you back with Devon Achane, even if it wasn't intentionally. But yeah, no, we are. I'm set at running back, so whatever running backs you want from here on out, you can go nuts because probably ending on a 4 or 5 build anyways, maybe one late. Wide receiver goes here. Okay, now we definitely got to check a quarterback. I don't mind Jared Goff here, to be honest. I don't mind Jared Goff at all. We also have Laporta. Yeah, this is a smash. This is a smash. Unless Jared wants to get us back here. Hopefully he doesn't. I love Jared Goff here. Love the Jared Goff. I forgot we had Laporta too. Maybe gotta start checking the team a little bit more. So we have Laporta. We could go with like a cheap. Search up Detroit in the chat, Spicy. I want to see if we can get some cheap correlating options later on. Like Khalif Raymond in the last round, DPJ in the last round, sure. Those are probably the main two. Like I'm not taking Sione Vaki. Sorry. It's not going to happen. Hawkinson goes here too. Yeah, week 8, round 18 DPJ. Yeah, that's a good call. I honestly have no issue holding Mahomes, Williams, and Lawrence. Never have quarterback problems ever again. Yeah, I mean, you could very well hold them as well. Again, if you're weak at wide receiver, I understand why you'd move them. But yeah, if you are in a position where you're just absolutely loaded out of the brim and can, go nuts. Go nuts. In that 14-team league, would you give Herbert and Addison to get Gibbs, Flowers, and a first? Got inboxed. So basically, Gibbs plus a 25 first for Herbert and a 14-team superflex. I just feel like you should be getting better for that, to be honest. Like, I understand you have loaded quarterbacks, bro, but in a 14-team superflex, like, Gibbs in a first is just not getting it done for me, to be honest. And like, especially too, knowing it's a 14-team first, that pick could be 13th overall. And you basically got Jahmyr Gibbs in pick 13 for Justin Herbert. I can't do it personally. Like I know some people are higher on Gibbs. Again, I'm high on Gibbs. I think he's a clear 2-3 turn type of dynasty startup pick, but maybe some people view him more so as a mid-second. Maybe they're low on Herbert, view him as an early second. And at that point, obviously that's great value. But for me, knowing that I value Herbert as a late first rounder in a 14-team superflex, yeah, Herbert's the pick for sure. We can almost close off our quarterbacks here, maybe, depending on what value. I mean, we can get JJ later on, actually. That's going to be the one. So we'll get Herbert here. We'll get JJ later on. We got Ladd McConkey to stack it up. They are both by week 5. The Vikings aren't by week 5, are they? I don't believe so. I mean, we check JJ. They're 6. Okay, so we can get JJ a little bit later on, and we can get that JJ to JJ stack later on in the season. So pretty happy about that. Week 18 DPJ. Oh, yeah, I already read that. What's up, Danny? Is JSN a buy or sell right now? It really depends what the value is on your current market because I value him relatively close to the wide receiver 29, 30 area in Dynasty. He is currently on the dot. I'll check my Dynasty rankings. He is currently on the dot, my wide receiver 29 in Dynasty. And to be honest, now that I think about it, I'd probably take him and Jaden Reed over his teammate DK Metcalf. So I'm going to make that change. But he's going to be my wide receiver 28 in Dynasty. I'm a little bit more optimistic now that I saw the charting from Matt Harmon's reception perception. I will say it is obviously a big risk knowing that he didn't have a good year and knowing that going into his second year, if he doesn't have a breakout season, he's basically going to be off the radar of everybody going into year 3. So it's definitely a more risky proposition than the rookie wide receivers. But at the same time, I do feel like he's a talented player. And I do feel like if he's going to break out, it's going to be this year, second year in that offense, because he was showing some signs of life down the stretch last year. Week 10 is going to be rough for this team. Yeah, let's check the week 10s. Week 10. So we have 2 running backs at least active. Oh my God. Yeah, we are going to need like 3 wide receivers. Why do we have just week 10 and week 5 bye week, guys? Jesus. So note to self, when we take our other wide receivers, just can't take week 10s. But yeah, other than that, we're pretty good. What is our, so we have a 2-4-5-1. Probably grab a tight end or a wide receiver at this pick, pending what the board looks like. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like in a second. QJ going before Pearsall. Yeah, that is ridiculous. Give Herbert, Addison, get T-Law and Olave, another inbox offer. Pretty fair. Again, if you believe in T-Law, I agree. This is a fair offer, honestly. I can make the arguments either way. Like, I prefer Herbert to T-Law, but if you view the gap between Olave and Addison as being bigger, I also don't mind that. So really just pick your flavor on that one, to be honest. This redraft or dynasty, this is a redraft. This is best ball. No, Pio, no, you're absolutely right. That's actually a good point. It's literally a best ball tournament. I could care less about I actually could care less about the weekly scoring. I will say, though, you want to at least be able to field a lineup because you don't want to take zeros at spots during the best ball season because it is still calculated on a weekly basis. It's still it's still calculated on a weekly basis. So you're going to want to make sure you can fill that lineup. But yeah, it's not as big of a deal, of course. I don't mind Ben Sinnott here either. We could go, or no, just wait on Tucker Kraft, actually. You know what? We will go with the wide receiver. Go to the wide receiver position quick. Just take Ty Chandler, actually. Just take Ty Chandler. Sorry, this is random, but take Ty Chandler. Sorry. Yeah, all good, all good. We got Packers, all good. I mean, we have Jacobs, so that kind of sucks, but whatever. That's my bad. I told you a little bit late. That's on me. Who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe Josh Jacobs, the guy you need early in the season, and Marshawn Lloyd has some spike weeks down the stretch. Like, you never know how it's going to play out. Obviously, I would have preferred Chandler, but like at the same time, that's on me for not saying anything quicker. I think there's a sneaky chance Herbert gets used in design runs this year with the scheme. So many passes to pay off at ADP. Yeah, I know. He's just an elite quarterback at the end of the day. Like, when you got a top 5 overall talent going in the 12th round, like, I kind of just got to pull the trigger there. Like, I understand the complexion, the overall projections going into the season, not quite ideal for Herbert, but I mean, it's just Justin freaking Herbert. That's what I keep coming back to on him, to be honest. So in a 14 team, how should I value first rounders, not knowing any projections of teams for the end of the season? It's tough, man. Like, it's obviously first is still valuable, but at the same time, with the 14 teamer, you have to devalue it a little bit. Like, honestly, if you're going to move elite assets, you have to have full confidence that that's going to be where you think you're trading for. Like, if you're trading for a pick you think is going to be mid and it ends up late, you're just fucked. Yeah, exactly, Mystic. How do you feel about Rice? What's your ADP on him? So for Rashid Rice, I will check my best ball rankings. I am pretty much aligned with consensus, I want to say. Let me see where I have him ranked. Rashid Rice, I currently have him at 74 overall in my rankings. Where does he go here, Spicy? Where does he go? And that's also baking in big with the legal stuff. So he goes 82. So I still have him ahead of ADP, even baking in the legal stuff, because I do feel like if he's fully ready to play, maybe he only gets like a 2 to 4 game suspension, he could be a big time league winner. But yeah, we're going to need wide receivers for sure to fill out here. Take a look at the wide receiver board. I can't take another detour running back here. Corley's not terrible. I mean, McCaffrey, Baker. Go down a little bit more. Let's try to find some hidden diamonds in the rough. Demario Douglas is a guy I really like too. I think I like Demario Douglas here. I think Demario Douglas is the way. What's his ADP overall? Maybe I can wait. 188. We're at 164. Honestly, go back to wide receiver. We can't not take a wide receiver here. I just like his projection the most here. I know it's a little bit of a reach based off consensus, but at the same time, once you get to these ranges, you just got to take the best projections. And to me, like, Demario Douglas should probably be a 12th to 13th round pick. Like, where is Josh Downs going right now, Spicy? Check his ADP. I love Josh Downs. You guys know I love Josh Downs, but to me, Demario Douglas is a very similar bet. 135 overall. So Demario Douglas going 50 picks later just, to me, feels a little too rich for my blood in terms of a 50 pick discrepancy between them, because I feel like their roles in their respective offenses, and although I prefer Josh Downs the talent, I think they're very comparable talents. And with Drake May getting added to that team over there in New England, no real concise target pecking order of an elite number 1, a potential elite number 2, which I think the Colts represent there with Michael Pittman's not an elite number 1, but he's an established number 1 is basically what I was trying to say. And A.D. Mitchell, of course, with the upside he brings on a lower volume passing offense, I think it should be very close. I think it should be very close for value. Man, Herbert with a strong run game, being able to sling it down the field off PA, yeah, he's going to be a menace. So while to say that Rashid Rice is the number 4 option on the cheat, I just can't see it, man. Like, he was so good down the stretch last year. He was a legitimate wide receiver 1 in fantasy once he got the full-time snaps. And his role in the offense is very unique to the big-time playmakers that they have. I think Kelsey is the number 1 weapon, but I think Worthy and Marquise Brown are relatively interchangeable in terms of their usage. Rashid Rice is their underneath weapon, is their yards after catch weapon, like we saw at the tail end of last year. So to me, if he's on the field, I feel like he has that role pretty much locked down. Sorry to bother you with the Dynasty question. No, you're good, bro. I'm fine to answer some questions. In a 10-team PPR at 204, would you draft May, Daniels, Pearsall, Polk? My quarterbacks are Lamar, Goff, and Fields. In a 10-team PPR 1 quarterback. Is this a rookie draft? Okay, I'm assuming. I would go with Drake May personally. I would still go with Drake May. If you don't need a quarterback, I don't mind the Pearsall pick. Go up the board there, Spicy. We're going to need another watch. Or we could go with Gino here and just close off our quarterbacks. What bye week is Gino? Is he 10? Yeah, we can just go Gino. You know what? I'm going to get a lot of JJ in these drafts. We can go Gino. We can mix that in. Am I crazy thinking that Polk is going to smash year 1? Feel like I'm going to be targeting him a ton. I really like Jalen Polk as well, and I really do feel like his usage in that offense, being an interchangeable 2 wide receiver set type of wide receiver that has some ability to play inside, to play on the boundary, being able to really be the glue guy at that wide receiver core. I can see that being the case. Also, big shout out, Hitch. Can you explain why Dak is the best quarterback known to man? Amen, brother. Amen. Appreciate you hopping in, brother. It means a lot, man. It means a lot. Gotta get on those COD sticks, brother. We gotta get those cues popping. Josh Downs, such a value. I love Josh Downs. I just think Demario Douglas and him should be closer in ADP to where they currently are, in my opinion. Wide receivers are Chase, Puka, Wilson, London, Pittman, Flowers, and JSN. Yeah, okay, if you need a quarterback and you have a stacked wide receiver room, I don't mind just going with Drake May there. Don't mind just going with Drake. Has even less. Yeah, exactly. That's how I kind of view it there, Brock. Fair point, but Chiefs want to throw the ball down the field, but we're just forced to throw it short to the. I agree with that as well. But at the same time, having your own role on a top offense goes a long way. Because again, I feel like Marquise Brown, Xavier Worthy, you can debate right now who's the better player overall. But at the same time, their usage is going to be as downfield wide receivers. And you make a fair point. They are going to throw the ball down the field. I fully agree. But you still need those inside the intermediate area chain movers. And that's what I think Rashid Rice will offer this offense. When teams are coming out in 2 high shells and are forcing them to take the underneath checkdowns, Rashid Rice showed the ability to be able to get that yak for that team. Can't wait to see Ben Johnson and Dak together next year. Yeah, as long as it's not on the Lions. No, I'm joking. All jokes aside, Ben Johnson on the Cowboys would be very fun. Ish, we got even more issues than originally. I just realized you guys have literally played COD together too. That's hilarious. Check the board though, Spicy. So we have 5 or 6 wide receivers currently at this point? 5 or 6. So we have our 3 quarterbacks. We have our running back room pretty much set. Honestly, we just need one more tight end, which if Tucker Kraft is available, Tucker Kraft is going to be one of those picks. I don't even mind reaching a little bit ahead of ADP on Tucker Kraft to ensure him. Can you check Tucker Kraft's ADP quick, Spicy? Like he's not gone by now, right? Yeah, like put him in the queue. 207.9 is ridiculous value on him, in my opinion. You could go with a Tucker Kraft on this turn, grab a wide receiver like Javon Baker, someone like that at the next pick. I also don't mind Jalen Tolbert's value if we do miss out on wide receiver here. We can really see. So we need 2 wide receivers basically and a tight end to close this draft off, in my opinion. Because if we check the running back room, let me just take a quick look again. Like if I'm evaluating this core, Jacobs, Brooks, Connor, Chubb, Lloyd. Yeah, I think we're more than set at running back here. So ideally 2 wide receivers and Kraft is how we close this draft off. Dude, it'd be the most Washington thing for our target to decline us only to go to our rival. Yeah, that would be Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Now, Giga Chad is all right. We're going to need 2 tight ends to close this off now because we don't have the correlator. Can you check the tight end position? Because I think I like Likely as one of them. likely is going to be one of the picks. And then we could wait with our last pick for our second, like a Dolchich. I don't mind that. So get Dolchich in the queue. Man, I can't believe that. I don't even mind Mayer here, too. Dude, he has to be a stream sniper. He's done it every fucking spot. Every spot. You mean Cliff Kingsbury, Trey Lance on the Cowboys fair? Also, we do have the Seahawks. That's a good point. I forgot we had the Seahawks. Yeah. We can go Noah Fant at the next pick. Honestly, I don't mind just taking 2 tight ends on this turn. Yeah, no, that good comms there, Cats. I completely forgot we had Geno Smith. I knew we had JSN. I completely forgot we had Geno Smith. So good comms there. I for whatever reason, I thought we had JJ McCarthy, but I forgot we took the Geno Smith value when we got that pick. So good comms there. Good comms. Let's see. So we can honestly just grab Fant at this next turn then, and then close off with a final wide receiver, I would say. Feels kind of gross having only a 7 wide receiver build, but at the same time, when your wide receivers are as stacked at the top as ours are, I don't mind it. Now, how many bye weeks do we have overlapping at wide receiver? That might actually change my decision. So we have 1, 2, 3. Can we field a full lineup is all that matters. Jefferson, Ladd, Douglas, and we just got to make sure our last wide receiver doesn't have a week 10, and we're good. Okay, so I feel good about that. We can go with Noah Fant here. Our bye weeks at tight end are all set too. Let me just take a look because at the onesie specifically, it matters. Okay, perfect. We go Fant and we're all set, and we can just end off with 1 wide receiver. Maybe a guy like Jalen Tolbert. We'll see what falls. Wasted $25 for that guy. Yeah, dude just like made it his day to snipe every one of my picks. Like, guy can kick rocks. Guy can kick rocks for real. Nah, backdooring a Watson, Love, and Kraft when a guy in front of you took Jaden Reed and Josh Jacobs is despicable behavior. Is despicable. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I get why he went Kraft after he went Love, but god damn it, man. That was a check. Yeah, we'll go Fant here, and then we'll close off with 1 wide receiver and feel good about it. 3-5-7-3 build. I mean, 7 or 8 wide receivers usually where you want to be. Tolbert's actually the top of the board here. Holy Christ. Okay, maybe we won't get Jalen Tolbert. Maybe we'll have to go with like Elijah Moore. Oh, Elijah Moore's a week 10 buy again. We'll see what falls back. Can you scroll down a little bit, Spicy, at wide receiver? We'll keep going down. Oh, yeah, Chark, because he's Chargers. That's what you're pointing out. That's a good pick, too. Keep scrolling. Like, I guess Brendan Rice if fucking Chark's gone, but I don't really like that. Keep going. Burks is not terrible as a scroll down player. Yeah, hopefully it's just Jalen Tolbert that falls because I actually have no exposure to him at all. No exposure to the Tollmeister. Actually, gross. Khalif Raymond's the other option too, right? Did we not have him in the queue? Did he already go? Okay, no, yeah, put him in there and then put DPJ. I thought we added them in the queue, but maybe you took them off when we were going to get auto snipe, so that makes sense. If they were going to auto pick us, yeah, no, okay, that's exactly what happened. We were probably low on the clock, and that's what happened. Okay, that makes sense. All right, Tolbert does go, which was pretty expected. You need Burks? Okay, no problem, Jared. I'll give you that one. I'll give you Burks. Burks. How important is the bye week in these terms? It's not important overall. You just want to make sure you can field the full lineup every week. So when you're overexposed, again, I'm not worried if I have a bunch of guys with a week 10 lineup or with a week 10 bye, but I want to make sure that I can field a quarterback, I can field 2 running backs, I can field 3 wide receivers, and I can field flexes. That's basically what it is. The chart goes to, yeah, don't worry. I'll make life easier for you here. I will just take one of the correlators with the Lions receivers here. I actually do like Khalif Raymond because he's shown some spike week potential, so that's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. But I will say, Lions are not week 10, right? You can confirm that they're week 5. No way. He has to be in the stream. There's no fucking way. He has to be in the stream. There's no way. He has to be in the stream. There is no way I just got sniped on Khalif Raymond in the 18th round with every single Lions correlator other than Jahmyr Gibbs. That's unreal. Wow. Insane, man. Are you kidding me? Whatever. We got DPJ. That's fine. Man, who knows? You never know who's going to work out. That is crazy, though. No correlators to fucking Lions, and you snipe me one pick on Raymond? Seriously? Nah, the stream sniping today has been insane. It wasn't even the same guy. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was a different guy. Like, that's what I mean. Like, how is Khalif Raymond your random 18th rounder with no Lions correlation there? Like, what? That's insane. Y'all got it. No, we're good. We're good. I'm mostly just trolling, but this is fine. This is fine. Let's check the overall team. If you guys want a glimpse here, we'll pull it up. So Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith at a quarterback. All of them have correlators to them respectively. Running backs, Jacobs, Brooks, Connor, Chubb, and Lloyd, mixing in that overall upside with some of those rookies with the overall early season consistency. And then if you go back to the team, sorry, it made us exit it because of that. Wide receivers, Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Jaden Reed, Lama Conkey, JSN, DeMar Douglas, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Again, maybe you guys would rather have 8 or maybe 9 wide receivers there, but given how strong we started at the top, I'm cool with ending that at a 7 build. And then finally, my 3 tight ends there. Laporta, typically you want to have a 2 tight end build, but knowing we got sniped on all of our other correlating tight ends, kind of had to make reference with with this 3 build here. Laporta obviously correlating to Jared Goff. Noah Fant obviously correlating there to Geno Smith. And then, in my opinion, Isaiah Likely having that upside down the stretch if Mark Andrews were to miss any time. Really like it. Yeah, that's on me too. Me just mentioning every guy I want to target is probably an issue as well. So it is what it is. Again, I will make this a little Q&A for the time being. Spicy's quickly going to eat for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will kick off a second best ball draft. So let me just unshare my screen. Here, why am I still in this? Oh, here, I got it. Unshare my screen, and we'll just make it a Q&A. If you guys have Dynasty questions, best ball questions, life questions, you want to talk about whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section. There's 141 up. I will bring up the startup too. That's another good point. If you guys are unfamiliar, we actually recently started our flocked up startup draft. So let me just go overall show you guys the board. Maybe you guys have some gripes with some of the valuations, maybe some steals, maybe some overvalued. I don't know how you guys will feel, but I'll show you my team. I'll show you the overall board, and I'll let you guys have the judgment yourselves. So for reference, I typically never do this in startups, but I actually leveraged my 2025 and 2026 picks. The reason why is that everybody in this room wanted to trade down, and I felt like I got good enough value to be able to trade my picks. That's basically what it come down to. So if you guys want to see the board, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts, pretty bog standard in terms of the start. If you guys want to see my overall draft, here, Caleb Williams, A. Rich, Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers, DJ Moore to correlate with Caleb Williams along with DeAndre Swift later on. I got Brian Thomas, Jaden Reed, George Pickens, Isaiah Pacheco, got Rashid Rice to fall at the 7-10. And then finally, I do close off here at Amari Cooper. And I basically still have all of my other picks, barring my 2 picks here, but I also have an extra here. So if you guys want to see the overall board, and I will also answer some questions as well. Live question, pineapple on pizza, W or L? If it is natural Italian cuisine, you're getting, Nonna with the rolled up sleeves with flour all over her apron, making it for you. Absolutely fucking not. You are not putting pineapple on pizza when it's an authentic Italian homemade pizza. If you're going to a fast food pizza spot, it's fast pizza and you want to get pineapple on it, I'm not going to argue with you. You're ordering a pizza and you're getting it from your random spot around the corner with as much grease as you could possibly imagine. Sure, get pineapple on it. But if you're getting authentic Italian homemade pizza, absolutely fucking not. That's my thought on it. Again, I'm not the type of person that's just going to criticize people for eating pineapple on pizza. Because again, when I'm in the mood for a greasy pizza, sure, every now and then I'll get pineapple. That's fine. When it's just authentic pizza, though, can't do that. None of that. None of that. What was the biggest shock of the NFL draft? Can't say Penix. I mean, if I check the NFL draft order, let me just see some of the picks to give myself a refresher, because I haven't actually thought about the draft since it happened, other than obviously from a dynasty lens. So let me take a look. I mean, in terms of shocks, I don't think this was necessarily a shock, but people were questioning, are the Titans going to take tackle or the Titans going to take wide receiver? Maybe some thought with Rome Odunze on the board, they would have went with the wide receiver route. However, JC Latham is the pick. I think that was a fine pick, though, regardless. I mean, the other shock clear as day is I mean, people were arguing, is it going to be 3 quarterbacks? Is it going to be 4 quarterbacks in the first round? And all 6 ended up going in the first round. I would say that's a shock. Brock Bowers going to the Raiders. I don't think anybody expected that fit as well. The Vikings being probably the big winners of the draft, getting Dallas Turner and J.J. McCarthy, I think was a little bit of a shock. I mean, other than that, nothing really like speaking out in terms of overall shock value. Round 2, maybe somebody fell crazy here. Like if I can look, Jer'Zhan Newton maybe not going in the first round though. To be fair, apparently he had some very, very bad medicals which caused him to fall. Other than that, I think it was pretty standard. I mean, the one shock for sure as a Cowboys fan is them not taking a single running back in the draft when they were arguably the biggest running back needy team. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. Danny, why is it impossible to trade ETN and HN in FSC Dynasty League? It's so hard. Dude, it's hard to trade running backs, period, in FSC leagues. It is pretty remarkable. Dude, I hate my team in this one. I want to recount. No, you're good, bro. You're cooking. Let me see what you got cooking here. I mean, like maybe like I would have said keep your quarterback here because you ended up falling a little bit behind the 8-ball quarterback. But I love how you built out this wide receiver room. I'm not going to lie. I really wanted an Amon St. Brown share, so that one definitely hurt. But I'm still cool with Averich, of course. You got Will Levis at a very, very good value, too. Like, I think you're underrating yourself. I think you're doing a good job there, Jared. I like how you're approaching that. You did the same thing last year, no flocking, and it worked. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my no flocking team now, I'm probably going to have to rebuild after this oncoming year, but it's easy to rebuild with the hindsight that you win a championship at the end of the day. Like, if you win a championship and you realize, okay, mathematically, as long as I win 1 out of every 10 years, I'm profiting in Dynasty. Because if you think about it, obviously, there's 12 people in the league, 11 other people in it. Again, maybe you award second place. Maybe that's a reason why. But regardless, like as long as you're staying ahead in the buy-ins, you can periodically time your rebuilds to be able to capitalize on the value loss that some of your players may see before it's too late. Pacheco's such a steal. Holy shit. I loved it. Again, like the running backs fell in this draft room. Kyron Williams goes even a couple picks after 2. I thought that was good value by Bush. Honestly, this has been just an extremely fun draft room. That Fletsky team's pretty good. Yeah, Fletsky is also cooking there with Allen and Hurts at the top. Stud wide receivers. You get your anchor running back. You get your correlating tight end. Again, if you guys are unfamiliar with the settings, 12-team super flex, 6-point passing touchdowns with a 2.0 tight end premium. So hence kind of why the tight ends flew off the board in this room. Bro went next level Italian. Amen. I gotta bring back the roots, you know. Also, Spicy is backstage at this point. So I'll get through these last couple of questions and then I can fire up another draft for you guys, and you guys can try to get in. Hopefully, I don't get stream sniped as bad as the first draft, but LOL, he sure did. I love that. I can't do pineapple on pizza. Another weird one is cheese on apple pie. I've never heard of cheese on apple pie, and I never want to hear it again, to be honest. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever. Dude, their textures just don't even match. Like, what? As a Niners fan, I was surprised we went Ricky Pierce. That was actually another surprise, to be fair. Like, maybe if you went a wide receiver, a different direction would have been expected. But knowing how, like, for example, the shock for me was taking him over Ladd. Because I thought Ladd McConkey was a superior prospect. But at the same time, that type of role in the offense, again, to me, it signals more so you guys are more willing to move off of Debo than Ayuk. Because Ayuk is your true X wide receiver that can beat man coverage, whereas Debo's kind of been your slot, you know, gadget, yak player, which I think Pearsall can be a better man separator than what Debo Samuel was in the offense. Because I've heard this point brought up too, but the main reason why the Chiefs were able to stifle the 49ers in that playoff game in the Super Bowl was that they were able to just dominate from a physical man coverage perspective. So having another man beater definitely helps. And then 14-team Superflex, I gave Rome a first, a second for Neighbors, and 514 turned into Addison. Thoughts? Pretty fair value, in my opinion. First, more or less, equals Addison. You basically play Rome plus a 2 to get Neighbors. I don't mind that. To me, the biggest shock was the Cowboys signing Zeke back. Yeah, no, exactly. That's another big one. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the current deal is not $9 million. It's also dead cap from when we cut him. So technically, you're right. We're paying him $9 million, but the majority of that came from when we cut him last year. Achane is 22, has the best run design. Hey, I love Devon Achane. I'm just so stacked at running back in that league that I just can't afford to trade for one. No one wants the Shane Steichen merchant. Yeah, for real. Cheese on apple pie, that's a crime. Google it. People do it. Yeah, that's disgusting. Thoughts on my rookie draft? Rome, Benson, Burton, Baker, Cowing. So Rome 105, it's tough because If you don't need a quarterback, I understand why you went that route. But for me, I just view the quarterbacks as being a tier above personally, but still fine. Trey Benson, you absolutely stole there at the 204. I think that's a great value. Burton, if you like him, 212, fine valuation. 307 for Javon Baker, I think is a steal as well. And then Jacob Cowing, again, once you're in the 4th round, you get your 49er. Shades of Debo there. I don't mind making that move there. McDuffie was legit running the routes with Debo. And just, yeah, no, McDuffie is a freak, by the way, if you guys were unfamiliar with Trent McDuffie's game. But Spicy is in the backstage right now. I will put the BBM on the screen. I will make sure I actually swap this view so I'm at the top. Whoa, that is not the spot I want to be. It's that one. That one. Perfect. So I'll give you guys 5 seconds this time. Hopefully not everybody stream sites this time. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll cue in. Perfect. Odunze Neighbors call me crazy, but that dude's just different. I love Rome Odunze. Again, I still prefer Malik Neighbors personally, but I view it as more so like a second round gap. Like, I love Rome Odunze, man. Like, he is, I want to say he's my wide receiver 12 in Dynasty right now. Like, I think he's a stud. I just have Neighbors a little bit higher. Like, I have Neighbors, I believe, 8 at wide receiver. And to be honest, like, you can make the case of Neighbors over Puka over Garrett. I would still take those other two, but you can definitely make the case. Rome Odunze I have as my 12th overall wide receiver. So I won't fight back on you if you do prefer Rome Odunze, because, I mean, it is like a hot take, quote unquote, to most, but not really a hot take in terms of overall talent, in my opinion. What's a fair price for AJB? Kid is asking for Rome, Judy. Yeah, that's no. Fuck no. Fuck no. And we get the 102, and goddamn Giga Chad is also in this draft yet again. The same guy that sniped me on every single pick last time. Oh boy, you are in for a treat if we have a sniping opportunity, brother. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're in the stream, trust me. Trust me. If I notice a stack coming and it doesn't come at my detriment, you are getting hosed, buddy. You are getting hosed, pal. I thought McDuffie was right up there with Sauce and Stingley in that draft. Glad I actually got that right. Yeah, no, you actually cooked on that take, man. You could, I mean, I would still prefer Sauce, and maybe like him and Stingley's close, but you could make the case that McDuffie is the best cornerback of that group. Again, I would still prefer Sauce. That might seem like a hot take, but McDuffie down the stretch last year was phenomenal. Phenomenal. And he's right next. Yeah, he's literally right next to us, by the way, too, Spicy. Scroll through. Let's see if Jared also got in now. Maybe he's picking at the other turn this time. No, he didn't. Okay, so it's just Giga Chad. Hopefully he's not absolutely. So just take your Christian McCaffrey. Take your Christian McCaffrey. Now, maybe I go with a Miami build this time. Get a Tyreek Hill. Like, who knows? We'll see. I see Spicy in the backstage. Yeah, no, maybe it's a Tyreek Hill, possibly a Jamar Chase at second overall. Like, we'll kind of see what happens here, you know. Yeah, there you go. Take your McCaffrey, you Sandy, or give me CeeDee Lamb. Fuck right. Giga Chat is the ops. All the homies hate Giga Chat. Yeah, no, Joe, exactly. I was going CD the whole time. He's literally my number 1 ranked player this year. So, shocker, the Cowboy is Danny's number 1 ranked player. But I mean, the guy was averaging 28 PPR points per game down the stretch last year. When the Cowboys offense figured it out down the stretch, we're talking week 6 or week 7, whenever the Chargers game was. Week 6 or week 7 is when the Chargers game happened. Dak got full autonomy of that offense. They were clicking. They learned Mike McCarthy's offense. Took a while again, early portion of the year. They couldn't score in the red zone. They couldn't really be a consistent offense. But once that clicked, Dak was averaging 24 points per game, and CeeDee Lamb was averaging 28 points per game. CeeDee Lamb was averaging 7 PPR points per game more than any other wide receiver in fantasy down the stretch last year. Mind-boggling. We can all pretend we're Bush if you want to argue Cowboys. Now, the thing that gets me with Bush is like, yeah, at best he's quarterback 9. It's like, well, I mean, I literally have him at quarterback 6 or 7. So like, I would disagree with that. But I mean, you guys have heard the Cowboy spiel a lot. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I'm pro Cowboys. He's anti Cowboys. We'll talk about Cowboys whenever we get the chance. It's a good time. I knew it. That's my guy. Yeah, you knew I was going CeeDee Lamb. I was just hoping Giga Chad wasn't in the stream listening to me talk. He is the 101. I completely agree. He is an elite superstar wide receiver in a top 5 to 10 projected offense with that target competition. Like, it's just not hard, man. Like, fantasy doesn't have to be hard. You take the 1,800-yard fucking 12 touchdown wide receiver attached to a quarterback who literally led the league in passing touchdowns last year, sign me up. I mean, I sound like I'm just rambling right now. You guys are hearing me talk and are like, well, obviously CeeDee Lamb's good. That's why he's a top 3 ADP player. I think he's the first. I think he's the first. I completely disagree here, Cats, to be honest. Like, yeah, you can argue with the Tyron Smith, but to be fair, Tyron Smith has missed his own fair share of time. Outside of Tyron Smith, like, Tyler Biadasz to me versus Cooper Beebe is a pretty much of a wash. And Dak had Chuma Edoga as his left tackle at points last year. So for me, I view it like the same wide receiver core. Maybe Jalen Tolbert takes a step up. Again, if people are arguing, well, Michael Gallup was there last year, like Michael Gallup was a bottom 3 graded wide receiver in terms of separating last year. Like, we will not miss him having Jalen Tolbert on the field versus Michael Gallup. The only way we'd miss him, of course, if we suffer some injuries, which is definitely in the range of outcomes. But to be fair, we have capital to potentially make a move at the deadline if we need to. I'm not worried about the Cowboys offense one bit. I still think they're going to be, even if you project regression, they led the league in points scored last year. Even if they're like a top 5 to 8 offense instead of literally the number 1 scoring offense in the league, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. So in your home league, maybe you prefer CMC, but in 3 wide receiver leagues at CAD. Yeah, that's kind of how I view it, especially knowing the context of these rooms. Wide receivers fly off the board. You want to be ahead of the 8 ball. For me, that's kind of why CD. Like, if you're in a home managed league and you want to take Christian McCaffrey first overall, fine. But that's also why he's my 3rd ranked player in these best ball drafts. I bailed on the draft just because I'm trying to spread my BBM. No, I respect it, bro. I respect it, bro. Sorry, I was a mid hiccup, if you will. Sorry to leave you with a sniper. No, you're good. On the bright side, I'm on the right side here, so I can get a piece on him. Question is Khalil Shakir versus Zach Moss, Dynasty Superflex. Probably Khalil Shakir on face value, but again, if you want to acquire some cheap running back points, I wouldn't oppose you to trading him for Zach Moss. But if you have Shakir right now, I would hold him at least until the season when we see the overall workload between those guys. Now, this guy surely just doubles up on Miami, right, in front of us. If not, regardless, I'm going to snipe him on Devon Achane if I get the chance. I don't give a shit, but yeah. I mean, sorry, if you wanted Devon Achane to fall back to you, I'm going to be the asshole that snipes you here. Give me Devon Achane all day. Sorry about that, Fear. If you're in the stream, again, I apologize, but Devon Achane is too good of a projection in the late second for me to pass up. You guys, by the way, before Corey left for Europe, we've pre-recorded 5+ videos. Like, we have videos on deck. For reference, if you guys are unfamiliar with the schedule, tomorrow or the day after, I will be releasing my own Dynasty decisions. And then after that, we're getting straight into best ball rankings. So be prepared for some of the takes there, kind of alluding to some of them right now. But this is Malik Neighbors, I think. Yes, it's Malik Neighbors. It is Mr. Malik. Can I get some Mr. Malik, brother? Also, there is also division correlation there between Malik and CeeDee Lamb. Biggest losses were on the D-line. I mean, yeah, like, we lost some edge depth, but like, people who are saying, oh, you lost Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler, your defense isn't going to be the same. Like, bullshit, man. You drafted a 2nd-round edge. He's going to be fine. Marshawn Nealon, he's honestly, like, he reminds me a lot of DeMarcus Lawrence when we got DeMarcus Lawrence. So I'm cautiously optimistic there. Again, call me biased. Yes, I understand rookies, you can't expect to make a big name right away, but when you're losing your defensive end 4 and 5, like, that's not a big needle mover to me compared to losing like your stud edge or your cornerback 1. Like, we're getting our cornerback 1 back. We're literally getting an all-pro corner from 2 years ago back from his torn ACL that he suffered literally in week 4 last year. Like, I don't think people are contextualizing that either. Like, people are so quick to say the Cowboys got so much worse on paper, but when you actually look at the roster, like, where did they get much worse? Where? I'm a little worried Moss is also a Shane Steichen merchant. That is fair. That is a good point. Like, because obviously the scheme is definitely going to help him a ton. So that is a fair point. Also, Jossie, I love setting the tone here with the 2 backs and the tight end. I love it. Set the fucking tone, baby. Run the rock. I can't get with 302 Neighbors since I think the Giants would. And that is absolutely fair, Brock. However, when I look at that Giants wide receiver core, why can't Malik Neighbors walk into 150 targets? Like, why can't he? Like, that wide receiver core, like, Darren Waller's probably going to be retired. Like, you got no real target threat out of the backfield. Maybe Tyrone Tracy develops into that. Again, I love Tyrone Tracy. Maybe he can become that player, but like Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, Wan'Dale Robinson, like, I'm not worried about targets there at all. What would you need on top of Addison to trade for Neighbors in a 12-team Superflex start 9? Honestly, at least a first, at least a mid-projected first, just to get into the talking part. And even I don't even know if a mid-projected first is going to be able to get me there. He can go from a Shane Steichen. Yeah, that is very true. Like, if he walks into 10 touchdowns, he's going to be valuable, a la the 2021 Ezekiel Elliott. Right? And they'll be playing from behind a lot. Exactly. And also, Jared makes a good point. Like, Daniel Jones was not bad 2 years ago. Now you add an elite number 1 wide receiver. He's coming off the ACL injury. Maybe we see Daniel Jones take a step up. Again, he's got talent. He's got talent. That's all I'm going to say. Again, do I think he's a great quarterback? No, but he was a quarterback that they thought was going to be worth a $40 million deal. They thought he was worth $40 million per year just 2 years ago. So maybe the Giants are still bought in. Maybe Malik Neighbors is exactly what he needs to take that step up. Again, who knows? I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones supporter there is, but I can convince myself of the upside path of him potentially being better than the consensus views. Get him, Danny. Let's go. Let's go. Is it a tier break after Evans? Honestly, I view Malik Neighbors like right in that vicinity. So for reference in my best ball rankings, let me just take a look. Wide receiver. I have Malik Neighbors as my 16th overall wide receiver in that tier. And again, you guys will see the rankings and our elaborations on each of those players. But I love Malik Neighbors. I'm fine with taking him here at that 3rd rounder. And to be honest, Malik Neighbors in the 3rd round versus Chris Olave in the 2nd, like, I would take Malik Neighbors straight up. Again, that's a hot take, but whatever. What if water's not wet? I mean, is water wet? That's the question. Like that is. I feel like that question's brought up so often, and people just get caught for a loop there. Big Osa Digizua truther. Yes, sir. Fair. I just can't believe the Giants didn't address their O-line. It's a bottom 5 unit. Yeah, I would agree with there. Also, Odigizou is a baller. Odigizou is a baller. I love that. Gets a 6 seed this year, bouncing around. I think we're going to win the division, but if Philly wins it, I wouldn't be shocked either. Like, to me, they're the same tier type of team. And you're saying bouncing round 1, like, if they play like a Green Bay, a San Francisco, I'd probably agree with you, to be honest. Like, those are the 2 teams I view, and maybe Detroit, especially at the Dome, like you want to argue them. Sure, but regardless, I view it as the 49ers and everybody else. So if you want to argue one team's going to beat them or the other's going to beat them, I'm not going to fault you. Now, with that being said, I'll go Pacheco this time and see if Jacobs falls back, because we do have a lot of Jacobs. If Jacob, like, I hate going 3 running backs, but if Jacobs falls back, I'm not passing on Jacobs here. I'm not passing on Jacobs. I can't. And we're just going to stop drafting running backs after this. Yeah. DJ Moore's a nice value in the 3rd round, in my opinion. The early 3rd, no, because last draft he went in the early 3rd. If he's at the 3-4 turn, I'm more cool with it, though. If he's at the 3-4 turn. Now, hear me out, bro. Like, if this happens, like, I can't do it. Like, I understand what I just said. You don't want to fall behind at wide receiver, but I have Pacheco and Jacobs literally inside of my top 30 players. Like, I'm not doing it if he falls. I'm not doing it. It's Josh Jacobs. I'm not doing it. Like, I don't want to have 3 running backs right now, but God damn it. Like, why am I getting 2 workhorse running backs and the most explosive running back in the league? Like, this is with CeeDee Lamb and Malik Neighbors, man. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we taking Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper over workhorse running back? Amari Cooper a little bit less. I actually like Amari Cooper, but over workhorse running backs. I don't get it. Osa's the most underrated Cowboy. Yes, sir. I mean, he is a beast. And I understand people are going to be pessimistic about the potential of a guy like Mozzie Smith. And I am pessimistic as a whole. However, people are underrating the fact that he dropped to under 290 pounds last year while playing almost exclusively as a 1-tech over 310 at Michigan. And every single report we've heard is that Mike Zimmer is trying to get him to add weight and get back to that 1-tech. He was out of position last year. He lost all of his strength trying to chop 40 pounds off. He tried to play a different position than he's accustomed to throughout his college career. I'm cautiously optimistic that maybe he's not an elite stud and not worth that 1st rounder that we spent on him, sure. But can he be at least a rotational piece that can make a difference for us? Sure. That's how I view it. Again, I'm not writing off the kid. He's still young. He's 22 years old. Also, most underrated defensive lineman. Yeah, I would agree with you there, Joe. I would agree. It's anchor wide receiver with CD. We good. Yeah, amen. But fuck, I mean, 4-5 turn Pacheco Jacobs just shouldn't have happened. And as much as I love HN, if I had known that, I mean, again, like maybe I would have taken Mike Evans there instead of HN, you could argue, but I love HN. I'm fine with him at that 2-3 turn. And if I had known that both those running backs would be there at the 4-5, I probably wouldn't have done it. Probably wouldn't have done it. You can still start all three every week, so it's a dub in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Especially if I have it as a 4 running back build. I keep this hyper fragile. We are cooking. We are cooking. You probably need to go 3 quarterback then. Maybe scoop Dak. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Dak is the target at quarterback 1, and it's kind of scary that all these quarterbacks are going. But Dak is is absolutely the target, and can get Jake Ferguson as well, which is nice. Love the intel, Danny. Give me the ampo when Unk starts cracking crazy at Thanksgiving. Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. I am I'm biased, but I try my best when I'm making arguments on the Cowboys. Yes, bias is still going to hold some. I agree, especially when it's guys I absolutely love. I understand that. But every single argument I make, I try to make from an objective lens. I try to back it up with numbers. I try to back it up with facts. I'm not just trying to say shit out of my ass. That's my biggest pet peeve is like when people are like, oh yeah, Dak is quarterback 17 in the league. Point me to the metric where he is quarterback 17. Any goddamn metric that points him to quarterback 17, and then I'll listen to you. Your eye test is telling you he's quarterback 17? Your eye test? What eye test? What, that he struggled 2 times against the San Francisco 49ers? That eye test? Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Sorry, that is my own solo rant on the Cowboys. I'm not going to indulge too far because we're focused on drafting, not Cowboys bullshit. You can't be a sub 300 nose. You put weight on him, let him 2-gap in the run game and bull rush. I absolutely agree, Rock. That's how we should be using him. Yeah, the thought is Detroit sits at the 3 seed behind. No, that's fair, Squatch. And like, again, I think that's a similar tier. And if you want to argue that Detroit would beat the Cowboys, especially at home, they'd probably be favored in that game. So like, I'm reasonable, man. Like, even if we end up being the 2 or 3 seed in the conference, I fully expect when we play the 49ers, we will lose. Or when we potentially play the freaking Green Bay Packers, we will lose. Like, I'm not going to argue otherwise. I agree. Yeah, let's get Addison and Brian Thomas here. Yeah, I agree with that. Try to get both. And then we'll 3 tight end and 3 quarterback this. All right, we're cooking. Hey, wait, did he go Ingram? Oh, he sniped us on Kirk. That's what. Oh, Brian Thomas. It's always Giga Chad. All good. JSN here. JSN. All right, so we're feeling good. Brian Thomas would have been nice, but I still really like JSN there, so that's not a bad spot. Just like when Bush said Cowboys, yeah, dude, that sent me. Like, I love Matthew Stafford. I love those top 2 wide receivers. There is no fucking world where the Rams are a better team coming into the year than the Cowboys, especially knowing the context that Stafford has dealt with injuries throughout the last 2 years. That sent me. Who had a worse offseason than the Cowboys, realistically? Everybody's optimistic about their team. But like, everybody's pointing to all these losses, but they're pointing to the edge 4. They're pointing to edge 5. The only significant loss that I see from last year, and again, I love Tyron Smith, but he has been unavailable throughout these last few years. Again, I would rather him on the roster. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. If we had the option to get Tyron Smith back, I absolutely would want him on. But all of the other losses people are pointing to, like, where's the significance? Michael Gallup was awful last year. Edge 4 and 5 is not going to make a big difference. You lost Stephon Gilmore. He got absolutely finessed in that Packers game, A. B, Trayvon Diggs is back healthy this year. And C, Jordan Lewis is healthy. You drafted a nickel cornerback in the draft. Like, I just don't see the big loss. And then Bush was like, oh, well, you lost your defensive coordinator who got promoted to head coach. Your defensive coordinator who allowed 6 touchdowns in the first 7 drives against Matt LaFleur in a playoff game. Like, what are we doing here? Mike Zimmer's track record against the Kyle Shanahan, the Matt LaFleur, the Sean McVay offenses is night and day better than Dan Quinn's ever was. So I just don't see these apparent losses that people are pointing to. Like, this is still an 11-12 win team to me. I've tried to be objective on the Colts, except with Steichen. Dude, Steichen might be a top 5 coach. You don't even have to argue with that, man. Like, Steichen is phenomenal. Like, you know my thoughts on Shane Steichen. I love Shane Steichen. He's a beast. Did he just take a naked Jake Ferguson in the 7th round when we're trying to set up Cowboys? Gotcha. Word. Lions win the NFC, folks. You heard it here first. I mean, they got a very good chance to. I'm not gonna argue that for sure. Rams lost Raheem Morris and Aaron Donald. Exactly. Aaron Donald freaking retired, and their defensive coordinator, who is actually really good, left. Like I don't know. Dan Quinn is a big loss. Yeah, I agree with that, Brock. All those arguments make sense, but I'm seriously trying to figure out which teams got worse. Nobody really got worse. It's just me believing that we have the best quarterback in the conference that led a number one offense last year, and knowing that in that playoff game, the reason why we lost wasn't our offense. Yeah, you can argue Dak threw a couple picks. The offense started slow. Like, I'm not going to argue that the offense played a great game, but the reason why you lost is that your defense gave up 6 touchdowns in the first 7 drives. You want to be a competitive team. You can't have your defense completely lapsing in your first playoff game at home. That can't happen. And again, another pet peeve. I hate to just make this a Cowboy stream, but God damn it. People point to, Dak is a playoff choke artist. Like 75% of his playoff games, his defense has allowed over 30 points. Is that what we're dealing with right now? Like, it's just unfair criticism, to be honest. Like, yeah, could Dak play better in the playoffs? Is he better in the regular season? I completely agree, but people just saying he's the reason why they lose these games, it just baffles me. It just baffles me. Yeah, you're right. Rams got worse. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Fine without Quinn. Hopefully Zimmer brings down downfall football. I want to see some help. Yeah, amen, bro. And another big addition that people aren't pointing to is the fact that we got Overshown back. Also, got Dak. Where does Ferguson's ADP go? Okay, so he took him in line. Fair. That's fair. I'm not gonna get mad at that. We could go with Njoku here with one of these picks, and could go with a quarterback. Could go with Njoku or Bowers. Where do I have? Actually, I think I have Bowers ranked higher. Let me see. I have Bowers higher. Actually, I want Bowers here for sure. Give me a nice little Bowers. And I know it sounds gross, but we can backdoor. No, I'm not going to backdoor a fucking Minshew or a fucking O'Connell. I'm not that ridiculous. Yeah, we'll go with Bowers on one of these picks, though. Can we stretch it here? Go up a little bit, Spicy. We're going to need a wide receiver and a quarterback as well. Can you check the quarterbacks available? Do we have any correlation? Is this just Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb on our team? No, we have Love. We have Addison. We have Jason. Okay. Go with a wide receiver here. Sure. Honestly, I don't mind. Give me Lockett. Give me Lockett this time. Because we do have JSN, and like we were mentioning earlier, we could backdoor the Geno. Yeah, that's good correlation. I mean, use the bathroom. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's chill. You can go. You got it. Yeah, Bowers here. Yeah, we're good. We got to get your boy Brocky. I mean, you're a Raiders fan in the back. You know, I gotta hook you up. Bills got a lot worse. Yeah, like the Bills got way worse, way more. Yeah, the Bills are way worse off than they were last year compared to the Cowboys, but nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that. Only playoff game where I really didn't like Dak's performance was 2022 against the Rams. But even in that game, like he started slow and then got them back into the game. And then if the defense gets one stop on 3rd and long and doesn't let Jared Goff run a naked boot for the first down to win the game, they have a chance to get that game-winning drive. So I would agree with you. It wasn't a great game by Dak by any means, and they definitely started slow. But the defense also allowed Todd Gurley and C.J. Anderson to rush for 300 yards, I'm pretty sure. Like, if I check back, that was 2018 playoffs, 2018 Cowboys versus Rams playoffs. Let me see. Oh, you're talking about the Rams. Okay. Oh, 2022. I'm dumb. Okay. Yeah, that dude, I'm not going to lie. Both games against the 49ers, he played like ass. Like I'm not going to defend him for that. You want to point to the fact that there's one defense that has figured Dak out with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not going to argue because his last 3 games against that Niners defense, he played objectively bad. But people acting like that's the only Dak we get when he was literally runner-up in the MVP and has been a stud top 5 to 10 quarterback for the last 5+ years. Like, that's my pet peeve. Like, sure. You want to argue he sucks against the Niners and the Niners are his kryptonite? Absolutely. But then I would argue the fact that, I mean, sorry to do this to you, Brock, but Peyton Manning's kryptonite was those 2000s Patriots. So, again, I am not comparing Dak to Peyton Manning. I don't want to see a goddamn comment saying that I did so. But every top quarterback has a defense that has a key on him, that has him figured out. The Niners are that team for Dak. The Niners are absolutely that team for Dak. I meant against the Niners, not the Rams. Yeah, for sure. Rams game was fine. No, you're good. You're good. D'Amico Ryans figured them out, who is also top. Yeah, D'Amico Ryans is phenomenal too. It's phenomenal. So we are double stacked. Can you? Spicy's going to the washroom, right? Spicy's going to the washroom. When he's back, I will let him know. We are 7 picks away. I will message him right now. 7 picks away. 7 picks away. I was caps locked for some reason. Hopefully he can be back for this next pick. And we're going to have to get Geno soon. There's going to have to be a 3 quarterback build most likely. I don't know. I mean, like if all this running back talent's going to fall in this draft, I can walk away with Devon Achane, Isaiah Pacheco, and Josh Jacobs. I will take that every time, but we'll see where Spicy's at. Spicy. Okay. He's back. Perfect. Perfect timing. You could see me. I was like, ooh, is he taking a 2? Like, is he taking a 2? I was a little nervous. We are good. We're good. Do we have any other correlations? So we have Giants. We could go with the Daniel Jones. We want to get Daniel Jones in the queue, and we want to get Geno for sure. Daniel Jones and Geno. Yeah, we will go with AD Mitchell here. We want to get in their upside wide receiver and then smash out some of these running backs. So we are pretty much set at wide receiver, barring maybe one more. And we need one more running back. Okay. Right. Especially before they added defensive holding, they take Marvin Harrison Jr. out of the game by being physical throughout the entire route. After the rule change, it was more even. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Right. So, Loki's landed the plane well, wide receivers. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how we ended up at wide receiver. Obviously, again, we'll have to make up the difference at quarterback and tight end, but check tight end. I mean, we could go. We got Hawkinson here. We have Addison. Addison. Again, he might start a little bit slow, so maybe we want to add a third tight end later on, but I don't mind mixing in a Hawkinson here. Potentially opens this up back to JJ later in the draft too, to potentially get our third quarterback. So I like how this shaped out. You know what? To be honest, we landed the plane well, like Brock said. Yes, sir. Can't forget about the Cardinals defense last season too, but as a Steelers fan, we also lost them at 2-10. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the Cardinals wasn't a great game by any means. I will point to the fact that Chuma Edoga was basically useless in that game. It almost felt like we were blocking with 4 up front. And like half the time he was getting absolutely hosed off that left edge and insta pressured. But I will agree. I mean, regardless, even with Chuma as your left tackle, like you kind of have to win that game. And that was part of the year where the Cowboys just could not get anything done in the red zone. So I will, I will acknowledge that. That was not a great game. It was not. Justin Herbert in the 12th and the 11th round this time. Nice. Yeah, Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford only being separated by a round seems pretty wild to me. Like, I would much rather have Nick Chubb. I don't know why they're only set. Where is Ford's ADP? Is he that high? Is he an 11th round pick? Is that actually where he goes? Jerome Ford, did he just reach on him? 10 picks? Yeah, it's still 135 still feels high. Am I crazy? And like, hear me out. Like, the Cardinals did have some stretches where they were playing some good ball. Like, I'm not going to completely underrate them here, to be honest. But yeah, no, I like how we structured this wide receiver core too, having our elite studs at the top while also having a guy like AD Mitchell potentially get you their spike weeks down the stretch. So we are feeling good there. Y'all were better than when McCarthy made the red zone offense get the ball to CD after that game. Yeah, I mean, once he realized, oh shit, we can't run the ball in the red zone. We got 4 and we got 88. Do your thing. And after that, we did our thing. Now, like, I don't know what was going on with the run game. Like, Pollard wasn't playing well early in the season, but I will say the run scheme did give me a little bit of concerns. The blocking up front wasn't great. Again, this overall schematics of our run game wasn't great either, but And of course, I mean, the play calling sequencing, especially early in the season, wasn't great. But once we dialed in week 6, week 7, it definitely looked like a much improved offense. So I'm excited there. What other correlators can we make a quarterback? We don't have one right now, right, Spicy? We have a quarterback, so we're going to have to add some here. Can you get quarterbacks into the queue here? So we can go Daniel Jones. We can go Jones, McCarthy, and Geno feel like our way, right? Unless Jones. That's enough upside, I would say. Like, it doesn't feel like a great core, though. That's kind of the issue. Check quarterbacks only, Spicy. I want to see if we could go. We don't have any Browns, do we? I was going to say Watson's also not bad. So we have Bowers and who's our other tight end again? Let's take a look. Bowers and Hawkinson. Right. I got Hawkinson last round. Right. So JJ's got to be one of the quarterbacks. Geno's got to be one of the quarterbacks of the double stacks. And then we can, Daniel Jones mania. I guess that's going to be our quarterback core. So also get JJ in the queue. We just won't pick him here, obviously. This has to be a wide receiver pick then, if we're going to be waiting. Or we can grab our last running back, actually, now that I think about it. Go running back. Charbonnet. Just sort by running back position. Yeah, Charbonnet. Ty Chandler's fun. We don't have the Vikings running back, and we also have correlation if we get JJ McCarthy. Yeah, let's go Ty Chandler here. He looked pretty good last year. Plus, you're running the risk potentially that a guy like Aaron Jones, older running back, potentially gets hurt. So, yeah, I don't mind that. We did the same crap early in 2021. In week 4, we just started feeding JT in the red zone after being horrible in the red zone early in the year, and it worked. Yeah, 100%. Go Burton. Yeah, I don't mind mixing a wide receiver here. We definitely have to take one at this pick. What are other wide receivers other than Burton? I don't mind Burton here, but let me just take a look quick. Burton's probably the best. You know what? Okay, we'll go with the Burton share. You asked for it, we'll give it. You asked for a Burton, we'll give a Burton. Give a Burton. What's his ADP at? It's probably relatively similar to the 140 range. 152. Yeah, okay. I don't mind that. So we have our wide receiver core pretty much set now. We just need Geno probably at this next pick, and then possibly JJ short after that. Go Burton. He may be solid with the news out. Your voice is back. What news? I haven't been on my phone. Is there news regarding Burton now? Let me know if there's recent news on Burton. Let me know in the chat. I actually haven't seen. Shredding now because of right, yeah, no Higgins. Yeah, I mean if Higgins gets traded, obviously that's going to look like a great value too. So that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah, like he just see. All right, let me just see what the recent is. Yeah, I mean, like, there's just a lot of good stuff on him. Josh Norris tweeted something out April 29th. Okay, I see it. Fair enough. Where do we leave off here? Let me get through some comments before the next pick. Yeah, he hasn't signed his friend. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Fair enough, dog. And Bush has just been rinsing the clock in Europe in our startup draft. Shout out. So what are we rocking right now? We're rocking what? A 0-4-6-2 Spicy? What we have on our team? 0-4-6-2. 0-4-7-2. Okay, so we're done at wide receiver. We just need our quarterbacks and our tight end. And we're good. And we are good. Feels good. This is as fragile of a quarterback build as I will ever make, but knowing that we have the correlators on each spot and knowing that like JJ, Daniel Jones, especially those two have the upside, and Geno Smith kind of has that quarterback 12 to 15 stability. Like, I don't mind how we're structuring this if you're going to wait at quarterback. We just kind of had to in this room, man. We had to catch up at wide receiver, and the running backs that fell to us were at too good of a value. So you guys didn't see that. Spilled my coffee all over my face here. I'm good now. All right. Fuck. Check the quarterback board, Spicy, because we're definitely probably going to need to double tap that at this pick with Geno and with JJ probably. Do we need any other positions? Or we just need to go 3, 7, 14, 16. So we have 2 more picks after this. Okay. All right. We're going to need one more tight end because Bowers is a rookie and Hawkins is coming off the knee. So we'll probably need one more wide receiver, one more running back, and 3 quarterbacks. Am I doing my math right? No. One more wide receiver, one more tight end, and 3 quarterbacks. We have 4 picks, right? 5. 1. Yeah, 3. Yeah, 5. Yeah. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I was like, wait, can I not math right now? Like, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I don't see top 6 to 8. Maybe like finish, like a la like a worse Brock Purdy last year, or maybe in a Matthew Stafford type of realm where he just throws a lot of touchdowns. But yeah, no, I can see it. I can see it. Let's see where we go here. Hopefully we can get 2 good quarterbacks on this turn. Gino for sure. Lock it in. Now, do we push JJ? I think we kind of do. We don't have to take him here. Plus, nobody else other than the JJ guy had like if he doesn't go with JJ McCarthy here. No, he doesn't have JJ, right? I'm a dumbass. He has McCaffrey, right. JJ guy is Give Me Your Money, I think, or Rock Master Flex. Okay. What wide receivers are there, Spicy? Let me just take a quick gander. I don't mind just waiting at the position and just taking a guy here, but could go Wandale too because we're gonna get Daniel Jones. But you know what? Honestly, I don't think we. Fuck it. We'll push JJ. Take Wandale. We'll push him. We close off our wide receiver core, and taking a quarterback 18 picks ahead of ADP just feels a little too rich. The only issue we run into, check the JJ guy for me there, Spicy. I want to see which quarterbacks are. Is it him? Yeah, is that the guy with JJ? Yeah, okay. So he has, who were the 2? Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud. Like, he has 2 relatively high-valued guys. Like, I don't know if he invests into a third here, knowing he has Stroud and Purdy. So I feel like we made the right approach, pushing JJ McCarthy back and hoping he falls back. That's what I was thinking. Go Juwan or Musgrave for tight end, but Baker ain't bad. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna wait till like Tucker Kraft in the last round at tight end because we do have 2 solid ones. Although we do need some production, so maybe taking Kraft, knowing that he's also with Musgrave, isn't the best idea. But I just prefer Kraft straight up to Musgrave, so I just love the value that he has currently. Also, Chuba Hubbard is a good value, especially knowing early on with Jonathan Brooks coming off the ACL, you could potentially get some early season work. So, yeah, no, I like how we're cooking here. I like how we're cooking. All right, Javon Baker does go. Good pick from Jossie. But Baker ain't bad. Yes, sir. I know you're not supposed to draft the college logo, and Bama was down this year, but he was really underwhelming as the best receiver in the Tide this season. I agree. Overall, especially from a number standpoint, he doesn't check the boxes. He didn't check the boxes analytically. He didn't check the boxes from an overall production standpoint. But I will say, when I did rewatch him and I watched his all 22, and I'm seeing him separate down the field consistently, and especially in the Texas game, bro, Jalen Milroe was atrocious. Now, he's going to get hype. He's mobile. He's got a big arm. He can create a structure. He's going to get hype. I don't think he's very good. And when I was watching that game and I'm seeing Jermaine Burton literally mailboxing him down the field with nobody within 5 yards of him, and Jalen Milroe just either throwing the ball away or taking a bad sack or taking off to run, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit more optimistic. Again, I thought he was about a top 75 talent. He does go in the top 75. Like, I don't quite see round 1, but I definitely see as a round 2 guy. Knowing the warts in his profile, I ended up grading him as a 3rd rounder, but that's including the warts. If you're just talking about straight film, straight separation ability, I think I would probably have him as a fringe top 50 to 60 type of player in the class. So I still like him. Again, a lot of people are completely off of him, and I'm willing to take my stacks on him, knowing that he's a deep threat wide receiver that can separate down the field in a deep vertical offense with Joe Burrow. So sign me up. I think the fit alone is worth it at that ADP. So I'm not supposed to. There's so much hype, but I also have Burrow Chase stack, so I'm like, hey, LOL. Yeah, that's fair. Burton has 1-on-1 talent. Need 9 for a startup. Yeah, if you guys want to jump in a startup with Genji, feel free to link up with him. Maybe you guys want to link up here. Who knows? You have the majority of points in the Bengals offense. Go get Kendre. Yeah, like Kendre. You mean like What's he have to do with the Bengals, though? Fair enough. 172 overall. Oh, that's where Musgrave went, right? Demario Douglas and oh, dude, I love the cheap Patriot stacks for sure. When are you doing a mock startup? So the plan for today is to do another live stream, whether it's solo or whether it's with Bush. Also, JJ does go 2 picks before us, 3 picks, sorry, which kind of stings. Did he go to the JJ guy? He definitely did. Definitely did. So maybe that was off on me, but I felt it was a calculated risk to take, knowing that he kind of just fucked himself up by doing that. Do we have any other correlation there at quarterback? Yeah, so he reaches really big. Okay, fuck, that kind of sucks. Honestly, take Levis. I like Levis here. Like yeah, I know it's naked Levis, but I do like Levis. Plus, we could potentially get like Chigaconko as a third tight end, so I don't mind that. We do go Levis, then we can get Daniel Jones potentially at the next pick and feel good about it. All right, we're cooking. So from then on out, we have 1 pick left. We're going to need a tight end, so we're going to just get a few tight ends in the queue and feel good about this team. Likely, Fant, Kraft. Yeah, go Daniel Jones. Likely, Fant, Kraft, Dulcich. And then where is who did I just mention? I'm drawing a blank. Who did I just mention? Levis. Okonkwo. Is he there? He's probably a little higher than maybe. Or did he already go? Did Okonkwo get drafted way ahead of ADP? What the fuck? Where'd he go? So I just sniped that guy on a naked Okonkwo. Or sorry, I just sniped that guy on his Will Levis naked. So that's not fun for him. Anyways, fuck that guy. There's a trade offer, Burton for Kendre. I think that's relatively fair. Let's see if he accepts. Oh, I thought it was offered to you. Verbally, although he didn't send it, fair. Accepted. It's a bet between the Bengals and Saints offense. Should be an easy decision. Yeah, that's definitely fair too. Jawan Johnson could give you early season production. Yeah, if he falls back, I don't mind that as well. I just hope one of them makes it back to me. I mean, the other option too, I know this is gross and nobody's talking about him at all, but hear me out. Daniel Bellinger isn't awful. And like he's a scroll the F down type of guy, but we saw before they got Darren Waller, he had some flashes of looking pretty good. So I will let me see exactly with Bellinger what he was cooking before that. Because I remember a couple years ago, he was actually like a usable tight end for a couple weeks. So we'll see. Yeah, 30 for 268, 25 for 255 in his first 2 years. Like he might just be a guy, but I mean, down the stretch, 2 targets, 5 targets, 4 targets. Like if Daniel Jones is healthy, you have Malik Neighbors to take attention on the outside. Bellinger, I believe, was a 10.00 RAS athlete, if I remember correctly. Bellinger RAS. He has a 9.66 RAS, 4.63 speed, 6'5", 255 pounds, good in the vert, good in the broad, like really good athlete. Obviously, Theo Johnson is a 10.00, but can Theo Johnson command targets in year 1? I don't necessarily know. Colby Parkinson is my scroll the F down tight end. He got stupid money. Yeah, let me see Colby Parkinson real quick. I want to take a look. Colby Parkinson. What is up with Tyler Higbee? 3 years, $23 million for Parkinson. Holy shit. You might be cooking with that take. 15.5 guaranteed. I'm never a chase the money guy, but goddamn, in the 18th round, I might have to listen to you on that. I might have to take a share. 6'7", 251. You make a good point. I think I'll take a share. He's been my late best ball pick in every draft. And Jawan Johnson, right? Makes sense. Man, did Higbee tore something? Yeah, Higbee. I want to see what the health status of Higbee is coming into the year because I know he's been pretty fucking banged up. His timeline remains unclear 3 months ago. Is there any reports since then? Tyler Higbee, ACL. Towards ACL and MCL coming off of that. Yeah, let's go with the big Parkinson. Yeah. It's good hip. Okay. That makes sense. Scrotal tear. He's a good pro route analytics, Seattle, and that 3 tight end committee. Yeah, that is fair, man. And they did give him a lot of money. I don't mind mixing in a share just because you asked to, and it's the 18th round. Fuck it, let's do it. Did you say you're doing a mock startup? No, definitely not today. Definitely not today. Maybe it's what, Tuesday today? Maybe Thursday. Maybe Thursday. Either Thursday. It depends when I put out the DD. So if you guys are wondering, I have my own DD. The sheet's all done. I just got to record it, edit it, and put it up for you guys. So that's either going to be out tomorrow or on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. But that's going to be coming out. And the day after that releases, that's when I'll be doing the mock startup live stream. So you guys want to check that out. You guys have been asking me what my teams look like, how I'm structuring some of my teams. So I'll give you. Sorry, I can't pass on Kraft. You know what? I told you I would take Parkinson. Unless you give me the go-ahead in chat to take Kraft, I'll take Kraft. But if not, then I will take Parkinson and honor that. So let us know, Cap. Put Parkinson ahead for now. Put Parkinson ahead for now. And if he says go Kraft, I'll go Kraft. You might not see it in time. So yeah, just go Parkinson. Go Parkinson. He didn't see it in time. That's fine. Davis Allen isn't a thing. Yeah, I would have went Kraft too, but I said I would go Parkinson. I'm going to honor that. I prefer Kraft, but that's fine. We'll mix it up. Let's go. I would have went Kraft in most drafts for the record, but I want to mix it up. I said I would go with Parkinson as a scroll the F down guy, and I did. Let's do it. Everyone talking in chat and you. Fair. Wait, what was I going to say? You guys have been asking me about how my DD teams look, potentially, what my own leagues, what my own teams look like in those respective leagues. I'm going to have that full update for you guys tomorrow or Wednesday, like I said. Bush already put his out. Some of the leagues are going to be overlapping. You'll see my perspective, my point of view on some of those situations. But regardless, it's fun, man. You like looking at your teams. You like looking at potential moves to make, potential plans of action in the offseason going into the year. It's going to be a lot of fun. But with that being said, I will remove the screen here, put myself big so you guys don't see that black screen, and pretty much wrap up the stream. Again, I will answer a couple more questions. I'll probably log off at the hour 55 mark. So if you have a couple more comments, feel free to leave it, and then we will be signing off. Again, 174 of you still in here. Appreciate you guys for that continued support. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you leave a like on the stream. Helps us a lot in that YouTube algorithm. We are approaching 42,000 subscribers. I mean, you guys have been the foundation, the basis of what makes us go. So appreciate you guys for continually tuning in and helping us, accomplish our goals, man. At the end of the day, we're living our dreams, just talking ball, talking fucking football every single day. So appreciate you guys for helping make that happen. You also get your bandanas at Michael's. To be honest, so this bandana specifically, I'm not sure if you can see, this is the Jid bandana. So you guys follow JID. He's a rapper. He signed that right there. And I got this when I was at his Toronto show last year. So this has been my main bandana I've been rocking. The other ones, I'm not gonna lie, probably like a Goodwill or something. My mom just had a bunch of bandanas stacked for a while, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna start wearing them when we started the channel. So I've been doing that. GG's, let me know when y'all want to do it next week. Yeah, appreciate you, Spicy. Appreciate you for the last 2 hours sticking in, making those picks for us, man. Like, you know how valuable you are, man. I don't have to tell you every single time, but appreciate you, bro. And I'll hit you up when we want to do a stream soon, whenever you're free. But yeah, sounds good. Appreciate that, brother. LMAO, how you feel about Bateman? I'm back in the season, ready to be hurt. I don't mind Bateman. I will say, in a 12-man bench league, I did sell him straight up for the 407. However, at that 407, who did I get? I got a running back I really like. Okay. So at that 407, if I can check, I got Audric Estime at the 407, right? So I traded Bateman, got Audric Estime, 12-man bench. I could put him in my taxi squad. That was also a tiebreaker. I would do that every single time. That's kind of where I'm at. I think he can bounce back. I believe he can be the wide receiver 2 on that team. He did get extended. But lower passing volume, Andrews, Zay Flowers, I expect to demand targets. It's tough. I still believe in the talent, but at the same time, not to the point where I'm going to overrank him and get hurt by him again, if that makes sense. JID sounds hella familiar. Are you from Canada? Yeah, so I am from about an hour south of Toronto, right near the Buffalo border. So, city called Hamilton. If you guys are unfamiliar with Canadian cities, it's right near Toronto. So that's where I'm at. JID, if you guys are unfamiliar, he's a rapper. He is signed under J. Cole's label with Dreamville, and he had arguably, in my opinion, the best record of the 2023 year. So the Forever Story, if you guys have never heard the Forever Story, one of my favorite entire albums, man. That thing's beautiful. It delves under the cover, talks about his origin, talks about specific issues he dealt with through his life when he was growing up playing football, when he got into some drugs, everything. Like, he went through it all, man. Like, it's a great album. If you guys have never listened to it, make sure you take a listen if you guys are fans of the rap game as a whole. Davis Allen will outperform Parkinson. As an 18th round scroll the F down, I'm not going to argue it. Whether you like Davis Allen, whether you like Colby Parkinson, again, I'm not a follow the money truther by any means, but 15.5 million guaranteed, 22.5 across 3 years is still a pretty significant deal. But again, like, I'm not going to lie and say I know exactly how the Rams tight end core is going to play out, because I mean, Higbee tore both his ACL and MCL, but maybe he comes back on later in the year. Maybe it's Parkinson early on. Maybe it's Davis Allen early on. We will see. His father, Masters, on board as also. Yes, sir. Go Bills. Let's go, man. I'm a Cowboys fan, but anytime I can see the Bills do well in the AFC, knowing they're an hour away from me, I love seeing them do well. So it's pretty heartbreaking, because it's like, I don't hate the Bills. I don't dislike the Bills. I like the Bills. But watching my team get blown out by them at that game in Buffalo last year definitely was a hard pill to stomach. But either way, I appreciate you guys for continuing this long. Again, like I said at the top there, if you guys have enjoyed, I answered some questions, you enjoyed the stream as a whole, watch the draft, you've been here for the last hour 55, make sure you leave a like down below. Again, it helps us a lot, and we're trying to get the best content available to you guys. So with that being said, peace out. I will see you guys back on stream, like I said, either in 2 days or 3 days. So make sure you stay tuned. But with that, JID is fire. Love them in Dreamville. Follow the money always, unless it's DeAndre Swift. Fade that motherfucker. Amen. But take care, guys. See ya.